Hey guys, welcome to the show. We got a lot going on in this episode. It's over 2 hours. I know for some of you that's a gripe, but for some of you, you love it. And I know you do. And what we've got on today is we did all of this. I know you can see we got the cloud going. We got these, you'd seen these before, but we've got them mounted now. And of course the Plinius, which we're going to get into all of this. $10,000 amp, did not pay $10,000, but it's $10,000 amp. And of course we got some cables here, 4-gauge power cable to power that thing. And not sure if you can see, I know you can see those, but don't know if we're panning enough. The Schiit Folkvangr, I can't hardly say it. So we do have some changes, but this show is not only about what we've done with the room. We're going to do some of that. We're going to talk about some of that. But the big deal is we had Ty McGillen, Thom Smith, Joshua George, and we actually had somebody come, and another guy from the Schiit group, Scott, he's from Wake Forest, Ty is from DC, Thomas is from Wilmington, North Carolina, and then Joshua's from Charlotte, and of course I'm from here, Pickle Town, Mount Olive, North Carolina. So everybody came. Scott came a little bit later. Wish he could have, man, that would have been fantastic, Scott, if you could have been there for some of it. But we did a 4-way trade. Scott was involved in it. Thomas was kind of a bystander. So it was Scott and I trading. It was Joshua and I trading, and it was Joshua trading, basically trading with Ty. It was complicated. It was a lot like Major League Baseball when practically a 4-way trade was happening, including the futures. For example, they'll trade prospects. They'll say, hey, put the prospect A over here with team B and all this. So anyway, guys that are not even signed yet, they'll be trading people that they've not even drafted yet. So anyway, we kind of did that in a way, especially Ty and myself kind of made a sketchy deal like that. So looking forward to this episode. It will be broke up into chapters. And trying to think of what else I had to say. It is broke up by a landscaping company. We're all out on our deck, man, under the gazebo, enjoying the fresh air, and all of a sudden landscaping company comes in. So that kicks on for just a minute, and then we go into an intermission and come back when that is over. So you'll hear a little bit of that going on and me ranting and raving about it. And I don't know if you can see, I guess you can see Batman. Batman's just chilling out. So he's my partner in crime up here, as you guys know. Looking forward to getting your feedback. If you've never seen the show before, please go back. We've got a catalog of some, it's decent content. It may be boring, it's not, but the content, what I'm trying to get across is there. So hope to have you subscribe. Please like and subscribe if you would, please. I would very much appreciate it. And need all the algorithm help that we can get. If we can hit that hype button, if you're on YouTube, of course, if you're on the mobile platform, you can look down and it'll say hype this show. Please do that. It'll help me out. Trying to bump up some here. I can't remember how many followers we have. I don't look at it that often. I try to look at the comments every day for the first few days. And then after I get a show out, I'll watch for comments like weekly or something like that. So anyway, please like, subscribe, please comment. It makes a big difference. If you've got questions about something that we were talking about, you need a link. I'm going to try to provide some links, but man, I have been editing and stringing all this together and everything for a long time. I got a lot of time invested in this, and there's not but so much I can do when it comes to that. So anyway, if you've got a question about something or a product that we talk about, please reach out, make a comment. I'll be glad to help you. Now, on. Hey guys, one more thing real quick, make it quick as I can. We were all sitting on the deck. I did try to take some samples and sat back down and had us all in the frame, and I thought it was right. I even replayed, some little short 30-second videos, checking the sound quality, checking the video quality, and make sure everybody was in the picture. Well, somehow that did not translate. So first of all, 1/3 of this, my head is out of the photo. I kid you not. Such an amateur job. But anyway, 1/3 of this, my head is just out of the video. You see my gut and you beautifully see my legs. You guys are gonna be well acquainted with my legs by the end of this. Ha ha ha. I'm not bragging on them. But anyway, just excuse that. It's so awkward. But anyway, enjoy the damn video. You know what I'm saying? Hey everybody, my name is Wilson Hines. Welcome to the show. And this is the Pickle Town Schiit Meet. April, what is this? The 10th, Friday, April 10th. And it is a glorious sunshiny day here in Mount Olive, North Carolina. The reason we call it Pickle Town is we're going to have a pickle festival next weekend, the 25th on Saturday or Friday and Saturday, and that is a big deal. A big deal
doesn't
around.
add up, Wilson.
No, it doesn't add up.
The 17th is next weekend.
That's right. So it will be in a couple weeks. Thank you. I'm telling you, this whole month, man, I have been stabbing around the calendar to figure out where we're at. It's the first time in a long time it's been that way. But anyway, we wanted to get together. We want to do this video and show you what we've got going on, and we'll be throwing some pictures of what we've done already and what we're planning to do. And of course, after the band breaks up here, there will be more done tomorrow. And Joshua is here for the weekend. If we can get a introduction of who we are and where we're from.
I'm Josh, Quintessence Cables. I custom make some power cables. I'm from Charlotte currently, and over here hanging out with the fellas. Came to bring Wilson a Plinius amplifier to replace his Schiit Wotan, and we have the speakers that came from Ty.
Yeah, Ty McMillan, Washington D.C. I just came up today. I bought Wilson a Schiit Folkvangr.
Folkvangr.
Yes. Headphone amp that he kind of convinced me to part ways with. So yeah, I'm excited, man. He came up and picked up the speakers, and I told him the next time, whatever the next thing is, I'm coming down there. So I'm here. Here I am.
That's it. And I bought my Gallahorns from you too. That's how we started a relationship. Yeah. And I have enjoyed them, not as much as I thought I would, and I'm just talking about location, where they're at and everything. But anyway, go ahead.
I'm Thom Smith. I'm from Wilmington, North Carolina, and I'm also addicted to shit. But primarily, I'm a vinyl addict. I'm the kind of guy that has 3 turntables and thousands of albums and doesn't know when to quit.
Yeah.
And he said he's got a couple sets of headphones too. So.
Yeah, a couple. I said, what kind of headphones you got, Thomas? He said, I've got 2 or 3. I was like, wait a minute. You don't know how many. You don't know if it's 2 or 3. But anyway, so right before we started recording everything, we had a good conversation about power cables and everything. I mean, let's continue talking about it. The idea here is we don't have anything wrote down. This is just going to be us running our traps.
Very organic.
Right, and
Yeah.
we've been running our traps for about 25 or 30 minutes.
Right.
But anyway.
And since Ty previously owned the Cornwalls before we did the interior upgrades of them, which was in Wilson's last video, they were in his house, so he's heard them in his house and his system, and now he's heard them here with the upgrades and with the Plinius amplifier. Wilson got a small taste of the Plinius amplifier last night. So
Wow.
I mean, I'm not trying to sell power cables here. I brought my big power cable. Wilson's outfit is fully outfitted with my power cables.
Holy cow,
Let
we
me
got
say
a
this.
grass mower.
That's okay. You're not selling it. The cables are selling themselves.
They do, yes.
So don't feel bad about it, man. You're just a provider. Once someone hears it, they sell themselves.
That they do, and they have for sure.
We've got also F-15 jets.
Oh yeah.
We're home of the first fighter wing.
He's gonna be mowing for an hour now. I mean,
Oh, look, man. This guy, let me tell you something. This dude never freaking cuts his grass.
He's been noticed.
Never cuts his grass. Ever. He's cutting his grass today. It'll get up to your, yeah, it'll get up here like this, man.
I'm just wondering if we're wasting our time for those people at home and listening to the mower can't hear us and be pissed off for the whole video.
So what I'm gonna do,
Go ask him to stop mowing for an
no,
hour.
I'm not, because I'm proud of his ass.
That he's mowing.
I'm proud of him, but we're gonna stop this recording and we'll just pick it up, man. We are, yeah, y'all leave. I heard you crank up. All right, we're on take 2 after that. Had a little bit of yard landscaping dealing next door. And when I used to sit on the deck when I was wanting some peace and quiet around here, like get off early or something like that, come out here, I would call it a 2-stroke Tuesday. Well, it's 2-stroke Friday. They're out here in force. But anyway, guys, let's get back on topic. Forget where we were even at. It don't matter. Let's talk shit audio and audio in general.
Well, I was saying that Ty had the Klipsch Cornwalls that we got in DC from him, brought them back down here, modified, and this time I brought my Plinius amplifier over here to replace the Wotan, and we all just got a really good taste of that for about an hour. Ty mentioned he had heard some things that he's never heard before and songs he's familiar with. Wilson did the same thing yesterday when he heard it. So we're just here to talk about audio and you know, that's good quality equipment, cables,
Yeah.
whatever here.
Yeah, I think that the situation with the Wotan versus the Plinius, okay, you got a dual mono amplifier. It's basically a set of monoblocks inside of one frame.
Okay.
And you might say, well, what's the difference between that and the tiers? The tiers have got that choke going on. There's some other things going on, but still, I don't think you're going to get away with putting them on a set of Wilson Chronosonics or Magicos. You know what I'm saying? I don't think you're going to get away with that. But still, a fine set of amplifiers. But the Wotan is fantastic for what it is. There's nothing wrong with the price tag on it. I do wish it was maybe $500 or $600 cheaper, but we know Jason Stoddard, we know Schiit, we know what they're doing. They're probably doing everything they can. And
They're spending a
keep
lot
the
of money
cost
on
down.
research, and
Yeah.
we're funding the future.
yeah, I believe that.
And all their products perform well, better than their price point, you know, if you compare them to other products. So great product for what you're getting, for
Right.
sure.
And they only sell direct, so you know in your head they can sell it 40% below what it should
You know,
through a third party.
Because look, there's a lot of amps in that Wotan class or the A-Gear class that would. How much do you think if Cambridge made your A-Gears, how much would
Oh
they be?
yeah,
Twice as much.
yeah, $2,500 a piece, where I paid like $900 a piece.
Yeah, easy.
She's got a set of Agers at home. I had a set of Vidar ones years ago. I just picked up another set of them to take place of the Plinius because I need something to listen to. Because I just moved over to some headphones. So
My end goal for me is eventually, when we build a house here in a couple years, I think I would like to go to a S3 Magico. Okay, and like I've said on this show before, it's boats, man. Some people got Harley Davidson,
Right.
some people got a boat. This is what I'm
That's
doing.
your boat.
This is what I'm doing. It's fine.
Right, people pick and choose their passion, and this is our passion.
There you
Yeah,
go.
yeah. So for me, the Plinius was a step toward feeding that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's a $10,000 amplifier. What I was hearing immediately, I turned it on, and Josh and I had to go downstairs to pick up something. There was something that we needed to bring upstairs. I don't even know what it was. And I stepped into the landing there by the staircase, and it hadn't been going 10 seconds on Steely Dan Asia.
Wow.
It had not been going 10 seconds. I stopped at the landing. I'm nowhere near the sweet spot. I stopped at the landing, and I said, there it is.
Yeah.
There it is. I've never heard those cymbals like that.
Yeah.
I've never heard that drum kit like that. And I was not in the sweet spot. So anyway, maybe an hour later, I wanted to warm that amp up. By the way, it sits idle with nothing playing. It's 100 degrees.
Really.
and about
the touch.
60 watts of heat, like a 60-watt light bulb would be just idle. And that's on, that's their standby mode is 60 watts. That's not idle wattage.
It was idling.
It was idle.
It was not at standby. It was idling. And the laser is sitting there telling me 100 degrees at idle. So anyway, I just left it running. I wanted it to warm up a little bit. We went back up there to do some listening. And guys, I know Gaucho real well. The song Gaucho we were playing earlier. You said you'd never
I've
heard
never
it.
heard it.
Well, you have now.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful song.
Yeah.
And his voice, this is very, very hard to, you might say is that amp really worth $10,000? I can't answer that for you. I didn't pay $10,000 for it, first of all, but I did pay roughly twice as much as a Wotan is.
Okay.
And he had this gruffness in a good way. I'm just saying texture, refinement. It was a texture in his voice that I had never heard before, even with earphones. Okay? Even with Focal Utopia headphones, I had not heard that growl.
Because you'll hear textures and voices. You will hear the reed of the saxophone sometimes. Pianos, a lot of piano sounds, and it does depend on the recording, but a lot of pianos will mostly sound like they're coming from everywhere instead of from a piano body.
Strike. Right.
And you will hear strike keys. You will hear the piano as a percussion instrument. You will hear that key strike the string. You will hear the piano body resonate, and you will hear a piano in your listening room instead of the sound of a piano on your stereo.
Right. We played a song before you arrived. It's by Chris Rea called "Where the Blues Comes From," and it has a piano that's sort of like an old ragtime piano, and you could really hear the high, almost distorted, but not because of this. Just the instrument itself, and it was like very, very crisp.
It's just like that song "Soft Landing" that I put on. He was like, "Oh, what is that?"
Yeah.
And I listen to that song all the time. Sounds 1,000% better.
Really?
1,000. No exaggeration.
But you got Maggie's, man.
But listen, here's the thing. So just like he said with the upright bass, I listen to different tones. Piano, upright bass. With that soft landing, had a bunch of guitar in there. And it's just like I hear micro details that I have not heard from my system.
Wow.
He was here. He was like, I was making these noises. He was over there giggling. I was like, oh man, this is crazy.
And when you put on,
Gregory Porter.
Gregory Porter.
Yeah.
Gregory Porter's voice.
Oh yeah.
What in the world?
It transformed that song.
I had no idea who that man was until maybe about 2 months ago. The Hi-Fi 5 podcast, one of the guys on it, they have this deal at the end of it, the last 5 or 10 minutes, to where you can bring up an album. And he's totally digital. He doesn't have an album of it, but he said, let me just suggest this. You need to check out Gregory Porter. What's the name of the album?
It's Probably Me. Well, I don't know the name of the album, but the name of the song is probably Me.
So anyway, he recommended that, and I was like, okay. So I went to Qobuz and I streamed it. I was like, my word! Right out the gate, his voice is such a presence.
Yeah, that was a live version. As he was saying, he played it. There was an orchestra behind him.
Right, there was a concert that it had multiple artists.
Yeah.
It was all Sting songs.
Yeah.
And Sting and his wife were in the audience, and Sting was like, you could just tell
You
his
could tell-
eyes,
you
like
could
he
tell.
loved it.
Yeah.
He loved it.
Wow. Yeah. He's strong.
Yeah.
There ain't no doubt about it.
And you sort of complain about bass often and say you want more and you want more. And
I want it different. I don't need more. I need it different.
well, okay, so different. And Ty played some good music today where the amount of bass was plenty, and the transients were fast. The tonal characteristics were just wonderful in that room.
Wow.
So
Again, those songs, I listen to them all the time. 1,000% better. And I don't know how much. So here's the thing. What I do know is I've listened to those songs from those speakers in my house. So I know the speakers are different. I know you did some alterations to that. So that could be
Just a little bit.
a portion of it. But then you got some other stuff going on with the power cables and maybe your DAC.
I'm going to say this. You mentioned the Niagara, my power conditioner. You
Right.
mentioned the Niagara earlier before we were so rudely interrupted. Or maybe when we were just chatting, I don't know. You mentioned it. I'll say this about the Niagara. I have seen some reviews of it. It's a 3,000. They call it a Niagara 3,000 for a reason, because it's $3,000 and some change.
Oh, wow.
It's a lot of money. I got it for $1,600 used. For me, I don't know what the deal is. My house, my power, I don't have a lot of noise. Look, I'm in the ham radio. I don't really have a noise problem out there. And if I was going to have a noise problem on, electromagnetism problem with my power, I would know it there before I would know it there.
now I will venture to say I believe you already had a full loom of my power cables before you got the Niagara in the system. Did you not?
No, I did not.
No.
I had a power cable. I did not have.
Well, I know because I originally made you 3 or 4 cables
Right.
on the onset. That was before the Niagara.
Right. For me, I can unplug something and plug it into the wall, and I really can't tell a whole lot of difference.
Except
Do I
the
hear a
amplifier.
difference? I do, except for the amplifier. Now, Audio Quest and Shayanta and all those guys, a lot of those guys say, they've got a spot for the amplifier. I'm sorry, I ran it for a long time on the Niagara. When I plugged it to the wall, it made all the difference in the world. So that will continue to be plugged into the wall. But as far as transients and sparkle on top and all this stuff, the Niagara didn't make any difference to me with that. For me, what the Niagara 3000 is assurance that we get in a situation, a lightning situation or a power surge situation it's $1,700 of insurance for me.
And one of the worst things for power starter is brownouts, where your voltage sags really bad. That's one of the worst things for the equipment.
Yeah, it's worse than a spike.
You were telling me something about the ground being consistent.
Yeah, and so I learned most of my grounding stuff from Kalen at Schinyata Research. And so what happens when you're plugged into different outlets in your wall, there's a micro voltage in that ground, and that's what references your 0 signal for the sine wave. And when that micro voltage is different, it smears the whole staging of everything, because all of your sine waves are off just a little bit. And when that combines together through the whole system, it smears the sound. And when you can get everything grounded at one point, either through like a power conditioner like that, or by what they call star grounding, where you've got all your equipment grounds to one location, that micro voltage is no longer there, and it's a zero reference point, and every piece of gear is referenced off of that zero reference point, and it cleans up, gets you those black backgrounds you're looking for, and that stage that doesn't smear, and the tones that just sound a little bit off here and there, that goes away. And 99% of that has to do with grounding.
Yeah.
So it's very important.
So you got a Riga,
I have a Riga plain R10,
a P10.
and I've got a Lin LP12
Nice.
that's been highly modified. And then I've got a Music Hall, I think it's a 7.3, and that's
It's a nice record player.
it's an amazing turntable for, well, we're saying not much. Most people think it's a lot of money, but it's under 2,000. I think it was
Yeah.
about $1,800.
Yeah.
It's an
And they
amazing
make
turn-
$100,000 turntables, so.
Right.
Well, I mean, my P6, I paid $1,500 for it. You know, another $1,500 for the Hannah ML cart.
Mhm.
But in my opinion, I don't know. You might would have to bring your P10 down here.
Yeah, you'll get to hear it
And-
at my place. I'm not going to stick.
You're not gonna get,
That's what he's like. He's like,
what
bring
is
your
the
amp
matter with
over.
you?
I'm like, no.
What's the matter with you? No, seriously. I mean, I'd bring mine.
It's a great turn.
I would bring mine to you to compare them. You know, I would really like
He
to.
asked me a few months ago. He's like, "Bring that Plinius over. Let me hear it." I'm like, "No." I'm like, "No,
that
I ain't
thing
gonna
is
do that."
a horse, man. It took us. We're 52. We're only 3 weeks apart or something. It took us all we could do to get that thing upstairs.
Well,
I got a really bad back, and it was rough leaning over. I'm walking backwards up the stairs. He's trying to carry the weight. I'm trying to lift it up.
Yeah.
And even though we're not out of shape necessarily, by the time we got to the top of the stairs, it was done.
When I build a house, and by the way, what a wife, man. My wife's amazing. She's like, and I want you
Shout
to
out to
have.
Nikki. Shout out.
Oh yeah, shout out to Nikki. Absolutely. But she's told me, I want you to have a dedicated space. I've got a dedicated space, but it's not 100% dedicated, you know?
It's dedicated enough where Nikki can get some peace too.
Yeah.
That's what it
But
is.
she's like, I want you to have a dedicated space. So quite frankly, I'm gonna have a door. You know, have you ever seen a funeral home door?
Oh yeah.
They're a little wider,
Right,
you know.
right.
I'm gonna have me a daggone funeral home door doing that thing. I'm gonna be able to roller cart anything in there I want to. You know what I'm saying?
Whereas most wives are like, "Here's the house. Oh, we're gonna shove you in that room. I don't care." Totally different.
Or like, well, you know, look, I hate to. It's an old home. It was built in 1908. Thank God we've got it, but it has 3 living rooms. You know, now, some people call something a den. I don't know really. We just call them living rooms when I was growing up.
Formal living room, your den, your regular living room.
And the front dining room used to be a living room. That wasn't the dining room. The dining room is where my office used to be.
That's
but,
a formal dining.
but
and
we wanted
a
to be
den.
able to have 15 people in, you know, around a couple tables and everything, and so we took up that living room up front. But that house has got 3 living rooms in it. I was like, to be sure I can use one of these, you know. So, and it's a good dimensions. It's 13 foot by 22 foot to the back wall of the bathroom, and then it's got that L to it. But that, I don't think that L has any negative consequences to the sound or anything.
Talking in your current living room upstairs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, what about the sound treatment?
Tell
Have
me.
you noticed the difference?
Immediately.
Okay.
And I kind of did something not fair, because when when he got here, we drove up to you on a Saturday, didn't we?
Right.
He got here on Friday, and that's the first thing we did, man. We put him in there with them Fortes, and I immediately
4 panels,
Four
just
panels.
2 on each side.
Yeah.
That was it.
I was like, they're not going anywhere. Because he brought them. I didn't say I was going to buy them. He just brought them.
Right.
And I was like, they're not going anywhere.
Right.
You're not taking them home.
Yeah.
So this time, he brought, what, another six
I
pounds?
bought 4 big ones, 2 small ones, and I brought 2 what would be considered soffit absorbers, which are 15 by 15 by 48. And we're actually going to cut those in half and put them in his lower front cabinets that he has there and remove the doors, because that will act as a bass absorber in those lower front corners. So, and the main panels I brought are for a cloud above, and I think maybe 1 or 2 side panels above the 4-foot panels.
So did you measure the room, or you just going off of?
I got the microphone and I've ran the software. I don't know what the hell I'm doing,
Right.
but I'm having a good time.
And
But I'd love for us to pull that out tomorrow or tonight or sometime and just
we
look
can
and
measure
see.
we'll measure the room empty first, like
Yeah.
I said, so you get a baseline. And then either you can do another measurement with 4 panels before we put the cloud up, then we'll do the cloud, do another measurement. For me, I've been doing this a long time, lots of acoustic research since I was in a recording studio many years ago. And for me, we talked about my ear earlier, I hear things. So with the research, knowing I can walk in there and go, this is your first reflection point, these need to go here. The cloud's going to go at your first reflection point on the ceiling, it's the center between you and the speaker where that is. And GIK sent him a little picture drawing, 3D drawing of what they suggested for him, which is about what I was thinking anyway. And then, like I said, we can do those front corners, and if he wants to take out some of those records, his whole record shelf up there could literally be packed full of safe and sound, and that acts as full soffit absorbers, corner absorbers. And the more you do, even without measuring it, because measuring it's going to show you what it's doing, but if you're not hearing what it's doing and noticing that that's accomplishing your goal for that room, I have a room. A lot of people have looked at it online and oh, that's overdamped. It sounds bad. It's like, listen, you can't tell somebody what a room sounds like unless you are there.
Right.
You can look at it and say something, but you're probably wrong, especially when people don't know that, which is why they're saying that. But when you sit in my room and it may look overdamped, the more bass trapping you can do, because I've started with a little bit and added and added and added. Every time I absorb more bass, the notes have gotten cleaner, crisper, clearer, and there's a coefficient, I think it's 0.7, which you can measure with the mic, which is your decay time of your room, where the sound goes and then that sound stops. Well, the longer that sound resonates in your room, the muddier your system sounds. So you want that, especially with the bass, you want that sound to boom and then stop in the correct time frame. Overdamping, it would stop too early, which the room's going to sound really dry, which some studios are set up to be sort of dry like that. But for me, it's all just listening, and my taste is going to be different from your taste, and we hear differently, and our brains process differently. But for me, if I know it sounds good, versus someone who, let's say, who doesn't know anything about how it should be sounding other than it sounding better, I can lead Wilson into saying this is what you need to do, and he's going to go, oh yeah, that sounds better, that sounds better, that sounds better, to a point of how much money do you want to spend on room treatments, because we can pack a room full of a bunch of stuff, especially one that's not purposely built for a sound room, to get it going to sound the best it can. And for my experience in my room, I've got a 10 wide, 20 long, 8-foot ceilings in there, and my speaker's about 5 foot from the front wall, and I'm in a short triangle of about 6 feet between myself and the speakers. Speakers about 5.5 feet apart. So I've got 11 feet between my head and the back wall of the room, maybe 12 feet. And I have a live end, dead end set up, which the front end sounds like I always say, when a recording happens, it sounds like I'm sitting in a concert hall, or I'm listening to a live orchestra, or you can hear the jazz club, like you feel like you are sitting in that jazz club. That's how it transforms you to the listening environment, or the recording environment. But it's a live end, very lively up front, doesn't sound dead. Behind me, I had all my walls, my back wall filled with between 2 and 3 feet worth of rock wool to absorb all that bass energy. So it would go past me. A lot of people, they're sitting 2-3 feet behind the wall, and it just bounces right back, and it kills it. Mine goes past me, gets absorbed, it doesn't come back, and that's the dead end back there.
You're killing the echo.
Yeah, and I'm not looking for surround sound because I'm listening to stereo, but it's fun, really fun, and like I said, it sounds like you're in a concert hall. You get that ambience, the when a piano plays or somebody things, and you can hear it go, and you can hear it bounce off of that concert wall's wall and come back at you. When you can start hearing that much detail in a recording, that's what you need to have that room sound like, because we're all looking for the best we can get it to sound. So that was my goal. That's what I'm accustomed to listening to in my room with that amplifier, with my Dynaudio speakers. I know what we can do to get him there or closer step by step. And for me, it's all just about listening to it until it sounds like you're transported to that club. A jazz club, it sounds small, it sounds really intimate. You can hear people at the tables drinking liquor and whatever, at the tables like that. Pianos, when you hear the body of the piano and then you hear that sound resonate and hit the walls and come back at you. You hear that. And it's possible to hear that because I've done it, but when you don't have that, all that sound, the speaker sound comes at you, you hear that. Then you hear that sound bounce off the wall and come to you late, and that's all that smearing, and you lose all those micro details. So that's why we're trying to do room acoustics.
Darko did 2 videos here lately. Y'all know who Darko is, right?
Mm-hmm.
One of them was about 6 weeks ago, and then a couple weeks later he threw another one out, and they were on treatments. But he said something pretty interesting. He said, what he did was he listed off the piece of equipment, that was the most important to the sound of a room.
Okay.
And a DAC was the last. And I think we've all been guilty of chasing DACs,
We kind of concluded that earlier there. There's a wide range of DACs, but as long as they're a good DAC.
Yeah, that's right.
Well, you start at the bottom and you step up to a point where then it's just a couple % difference here and here, or a variance of that sound signature. The quality moves from a low point to a point where you have enough quality. It's like, does my $6,000 DAC sound too much different than your $15,000 DAC? And it's like, well, that depends on your ears, the acoustic treatments in the room.
Right.
Because you'll never know if you have a bad room.
That's
Exactly.
right. And that's what Darko's whole deal was about. The number one thing in his mind was not even the loudspeakers.
Right.
It was the room.
It's the room.
Well, but it's interesting because y'all heard my room, and for what I hear, it sounds good to me, but you're hearing something different. You're hearing something different. You know what I mean?
If you...
But I just heard it. I just heard the speakers that I had in my room, in your room,
right,
and it sounds totally different.
Entirely different. And I think some of that is you listen to the other wall.
Right.
and we were in there listening to the Cornwall set up on the sidewall,
Right.
essentially.
Okay.
That was 100% of a lot of that. What because we didn't like what we heard because we wanted.
And then they weren't spaced. They weren't spaced properly. Either.
Right. There was nothing about that that was set up
If,
right.
if they were a little bit wider,
Yeah.
if they were pulled out a little bit more into the room, if you had them set up like from the Carter's thing, according to your room width and everything, and your seating position was in the right spot, it would have sounded a lot different than what you were hearing or what we heard while we were there.
Right.
Absolutely. Your sidewall was a sliding glass door.
Right.
Glass is horrible, as we all know.
Right.
The whole thing, floor to ceiling.
For that day, for that moment,
Right.
it was a sliding glass
And
door.
that's really bad in that situation because you have one wall that had some speaker equipment and other speakers on it.
And the wood cabinet.
And the wood cabinet, and then you have this left channel that's bouncing off of a wall of glass, front to back, and all that is just ruining what you are searching for.
But still, and not being negative toward you at all, but if you just did some moderate,
Now that's the next move. I have to do it.
and you know GIK makes, it's basically, you know, those side panels I had for the first and second reflections, they make some of those that are on stands,
Okay.
and you could even put a set of wheels on so it'd be easy to push them around.
Right.
But when you get ready to sit down and listen to something, your first and second reflections took care of it. And I know it goes into your kitchen, but when you're not sitting there critically listening, you just move them out of the way.
Right.
You know, there's definitely.
Well, I don't have that. I don't have the problem. I don't have a nagger, so you know I can just leave them up.
You don't have a nagger.
And
I was just talking about how they be out of your way.
I mean,
yeah.
I'm gonna get. I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get rid of that couch, and I have another chair. The chair
The one you're going to bring back the next time.
yeah. I have another one
that
downstairs.
Eames chair.
The Macy's Eames
Right.
chair.
I have another one downstairs, so I think I'm gonna bring that up.
Right. You got two of them Eames?
I had 3.
Oh, you bringing one for each of us?
You bringing one for each of us,
So
man.
One of them malfunctioned, and
Really?
yeah, they actually gave me a refund. So I just kept the other 2. I got one downstairs and one up, but I'm gonna bring that second one upstairs, get rid of the couch, and then work from there.
I hear you.
And
Yeah,
hopefully
my
I can get Joshua up there and
yeah.
direct me in the direction I need
And
to
what,
go.
I mean, one of the things you can do, they make it's not really sound deadening curtains, even though they say there's more sound absorption and they're better than regular curtains, are a lot thicker. You could line that glass wall with curtains and a curtain rod to where you're stopping a lot of that from at least hitting on the glass, and then you can still put some GIKs standing up in front of that as well in a couple spots.
Some of them almost felt feeling sunlight blockers, curtains. I think they would do well.
Yeah.
They make stuff
Now,
thicker
but
than that.
so where I sit, the glass is behind me.
Oh, you're talking about on your sidewalk. You're sitting that way,
Right. So the glass is behind me where
That's
I sit, and it comes this way. So it's just that open.
wall. So what a lot of people do in that situation is they try to mirror the sound treatment. Whatever you're doing on your wall side, you do the same measurement standing up in the middle of nowhere. That way, it sort of blocks when it does hit that. It softens it as it goes past there. So all that reflected sound isn't just going back and coming forward again. And then when that does come forward again, it has to pass through those panels again. So that's one of the common things they do in that
There's this
specific
guy. He has a track, curtain, same thing, same kind of curtain you're talking about, and he'll just pull the curtain around. So when he listens, he pulls the curtain around, and he has it on this wall, all the way behind him, then comes back around.
Right.
So I was considering that something
Yes,
something
sir.
like that. Yeah.
Danny Ritchie from GR Research, I believe in his listening room, if you look in there, he's got one of those literally all the way around the whole thing. All you see is curtains.
He doesn't even have sheetrock up behind that on them walls. He doesn't have sheetrock up, does he?
I mean, here's the deal. Hold on. Now, if you have stud walls that are filled with safe and sound, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm talking
Why
about.
would you put another layer of sheetrock on top of that? Because that's already a wall full of your sound material.
So he uses the curtain to cover up
The view.
the boards.
Right.
Yeah, the ugliness
Right.
of it.
Now, what about this mass load of vinyl? I hear people talk about that.
You can do that. That's what sort of on the curtains is
On the
a
backside.
thicker vinyl.
Right.
You can mass load vinyl. Mostly that's done when you are building a room. You would put a layer of sheetrock up. You would glue the vinyl to the sheetrock. Then you would put a second layer of sheetrock up, and it's just adding those layers. A lot of people are like, oh, I want to soundproof my room. It's like, well, that's not really how that works.
Right.
We can treat your room, but if you're soundproofing a room, like you could take a bare room, a normal room, you could add mass-loaded vinyl to all the walls. You could add a second layer of sheetrock to all the walls, and that's going to help. Probably didn't do nothing for the ceiling, didn't do nothing for your floor, and especially if you can
You
add
said the outlets. The outlets, that's where a lot of the sound escapes.
the sound comes.
Right.
So
What comes through.
my numbers are probably
Isn't
a
that
little
crazy?
off, but
It's crazy.
a 1 or 2% hole in a wall. You say you got a wall and you just poke a hole in it, like 50% of the sound will funnel through that hole and go out or come in. So that's why sealing up around those outlets, because that sound will just leak, especially in recording studios, because that's where I came from, and I know that sound comes in and out of there. So, but that's soundproof, trying to soundproof a room from the construction side when you're building it, not when you're remodeling it. Then you can only do so much. You can do a lot. It costs a lot of money, but that if you're not worried about your neighbors and you don't have trains outside the house, that's not what we're looking at. We want to look at treating the room of what's there. So that's quite a bit.
Don't have trains outside the house.
I mean, hopefully not.
You got a problem with fire whistles and trains?
Yeah, college horns at 5:45 in the morning.
Oh, the horns out there? Hey, look. And last night we were up in the attic, and all of a sudden I heard roar, 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 roar. It sounded like somebody was standing like right over there. And what it was is we come outside and they had a lacrosse game.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, but up there in the attic,
It was the roar from the fields.
it literally sounded like somebody was standing outside my house talking.
You've got your soffit up there, and that soffit has a vent, or for you, it's literally just a crack. So that noise comes from the outside up into your soffit, which is airflow for your attic. That
Now it's
noise
going the
comes
other
in,
way.
and then
Right.
that noise from the floor of the attic and the pitch of the roof acts like a horn load,
Right.
and that little bit of sound just horns right out in the
Goes
whole
both
attic.
ways, yeah.
So that's what your that's what your electrical outlets do. That's what the crack in your door does. It's amazing, man.
I've got a couple little experiences. I don't really have a designated listening room. It's basically a great room. But a few months ago, we bought another couch. And now I have 3, and they're in like a U shape. But as soon as we put that in, it's like, wow, it sounds better.
Really?
Yeah.
No doubt.
Just having that additional giant chunk of fabric there.
Yeah.
Then the other thing, way back when I first got into this, back in the 70s, you would go into like a stereo store, and they would have 20 brands of speakers and a big switch box. So you had 40 speakers on a wall, and so you could listen to all the different ones. And then the really more audiophile stores, they got away from that. They would have single speaker demonstration rooms because that vibration, when you have tons of speakers, the vibration from the music would bounce all the speakers even though they weren't being used, and your whole experience was terrible.
It's horrible because you'll see some YouTube guys up there, and they'll have 2, 3, 4 sets of speakers standing beside each other, and I'll listen to these, or then I'll listen to these. It's like, but that's never going to sound good, and because we know sound wraps around a speaker in a circular thing, that sound's coming out of that speaker, trying to wrap around, and it just hits on all the other
And
drivers.
they're all vibrating at the same time.
It's
It's,
the most
horrible.
horrible,
It's totally downhill.
horrible thing you can do
Yeah.
to a room is have multiple sets of unused speakers in there, and
Up-
especially beside the old ones.
Up at Audio Vice in Raleigh on Glenwood Avenue. Now they're down there with you. They got a place in Wilmington now. They got a place. What was it like? Oklahoma City or something?
One in Charlotte.
One in Charlotte, but I think they bought a place that was
Yeah, I
existing
think
like
they
they
did.
did. in
Yeah, yeah.
Wilmington.
They wanted
like
out
in
of it.
Oklahoma frickin' City, man. You talking about ding 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 wing, you know? So anyway, I love the guys. Are you going for Audio Advice live in August?
I don't know.
Well-
Hey, what,
Go ahead.
along those same lines, what's it called? Whatever the thing going on in Chicago.
Oh, Exponia.
Exponia.
We should go next year.
Oh, we're going. We're going.
Because it's like right now, right?
Yeah. See, here's the deal.
Today it started. People
Yeah.
were flying out
Yeah.
yesterday.
Here's the deal with that. All right. First of all, let me say this before I get into how that works, because you got to be tricky in the way you book that crap.
Oh, okay.
We're going to Dallas in July.
Southwest Audio Festival.
Yeah, which I don't know if I told you this. I love you, Nikki.
You don't know yet, Nick?
No, Nikki knows, but
okay.
but she don't know this. I had planned for us to go to Charleston for 4 days. It would be our 26th or 27th. Was 2026. We're married in 2000. It'd be 26 years. And because when I broke my ankle, we really didn't get to do anything for the 25th. So, or what I had planned, I had to cancel. Let's put it that way. We were planning on going to Hawaii, and I had all that paid for and everything. I had to cancel it all. So anyhow, we were going to Charleston on that. I had it booked. I didn't have it paid for because of the way American Express works and Hilton works. I got a Hilton American Express. And the way that works is they'll allow you to cancel anytime. They don't make a deposit or anything like that. So he calls me. He's like, let's go to Dallas to the Texas Audio Show. I'm like, okay, let's go. What day is it? 27th. I get online. I booked the Hilton down there. I booked the flights. I book everything. The rental car, the whole 9 yards. About a week later, I was like, 27. 27. Shit. So anyway, we're going because I've already, doing that. I had to pay for the flights. I had to pay for didn't have to pay for the hotel up front, but I had to pay for the rental car and the flights. We're going. I'm gonna move me and Nikki around a little bit. But anyway, what I was getting at I'm looking forward to that. That's gonna be a lot of fun. But Expona next year, I really want to go to Expona.
Can Jam.
We're going to do Cam Jam next year. We are. We're going to go to Dallas for that. I think that, when is that, August?
I'm not sure.
I think that's August. But as far as Expona, you've got to book that the day after the last day. You got to book your hotel on Monday. This coming Monday, you got to book your damn hotel. Or you won't get
that's
a
what we
hotel.
better do then.
So, and I'll do it. I'll book it. If you want to go and I'll book the hotel rooms. It don't cost me a dime to book them hotel rooms.
Let's do it.
But,
Yeah,
yeah.
That'd be a once in a lifetime experience.
Yeah.
Pretty much. That's what we're all
Yeah.
doing, you know?
Nikki said she would go. So, you're,
Yeah, I'll ask Rosie.
I was about to say wife, but she's technically your girlfriend. I don't know how
Well,
y'all
she
call
she
it.
informed me that we've been together over 7 years.
There you go.
Come along.
So she gets half my
Come along.
stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cut that
So,
out of here.
but she could go if y'all wanted to, and there's plenty of stuff. I mean, she got to go, man.
Is she into music a lot as well, or?
Yeah, I mean, she gives me my time for music, but she loves going to concerts. So
Okay.
She
So
loves
she
music.
Loves music. Okay. So does Nikki, which is why it's
Yeah.
good to have them.
But look, Wrigley Field is 5 miles from the event center. So we could catch a baseball game if they're in town. I know last year I had Expona booked and I had the tickets booked, and again, Had to cancel it because of my leg.
Mm.
But I remember looking up and Chicago was going to be out of town that
Yeah,
weekend.
we used to go to Chicago all the time as a kid. There's all kinds of
Really?
museums and things there. We only lived 5 hours from Chicago when I grew up.
Right. But yeah, I would love to do that.
Chicago's nice. It kind of reminds me of DC, the way it's laid out and
Yeah.
Oh, come
the city vibe and all that stuff.
Hold on a second.
Bugs. Hair? Fancy?
No, it was a spider. It was a little spider, and I'm
spider.
glad I saw it.
Oh, Spider-Man.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, we can get some fancy. If you see white hair
Fluttering.
literally floating through the air,
Really?
that is fancy. Man, she sheds terribly bad.
Yeah.
Terribly bad.
I thought she was about to jump on me upstairs.
She's calm and cool.
Well, she kind of
She
she
gonna be,
laid in front of me, then she got up.
Yeah.
Just looked at me.
Yeah.
So she was
Oh,
about
that
to jump.
one time, yeah. He messed with the remote or something, and she might have like seen the infrared maybe of the remote because she like came up and she was like,
yeah.
right.
Yeah.
and then just for a few
Just kinda
seconds, and then
froze.
she laid back down.
oh, I take my laser,
Yeah.
my thermal meter,
Uh-huh.
and do that all over the sun. She eats it up. Now Batman, I get excited about every now and then, but Batman's like 17 or 18 years old, and he's like, man, I ain't got
Setting his
time
weight.
for that,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know. But Fancy, she ain't but about 3 years old, son. She is all about it. But yeah, Can Jam is definitely something that we got to look into. We just hadn't sat down and talked about
We're
it.
gonna talk
But that's
about.
August.
So, what
We need to do that next year. I don't need to do that this year. We are globe freaking trotters this year.
So we'll go into something else a little bit more audio related. Some point about a year or so ago, I didn't want to, but a friend of mine wanted to get into headphones and portable, so I grabbed some portable DAPs and some inexpensive headphones. I knew it was a rabbit hole I didn't want to go into.
There you go, baby.
So I started with. I had a set of Mezzi Audio 109s a few years back, and I just never really listened to them that much at all. Had the car preamp at one point, which had a headphone output, so I got a chance to listen to that. But I just didn't get into headphones that much. So at that point in time, I got her a set of Mezzi 99 Classics, which I listened to just when I burn them in. I'm like, that sounds decent for $200 or $300 headphones that they were. They were mass drop specials. I think they were $200. And then I listened to my Mezzis a little bit. I'm like, that's not too bad. Found a set of Focal Elir
That's the ones
or something.
Elias,
Elisias, or the ones you have.
Elysia, yeah.
Okay, so those are even up further. I listened to those a little bit. I'm like, that doesn't sound too bad. But I'm looking for the same sound that my listening room has, you know. So I traded those in, needed some noise canceling, so I tried the Focal Batties for a while, a few months. Noise canceling wasn't working out that great for me, and I used them wired, but I liked the Focal sound. And everything was getting better. So got rid of those.
Had upgrade eyes.
Got a used set of clear MGs, the Pros. Listen to those. They're open backs. The sound was starting to get really enjoyable and more of the precision and detail that I was looking for. I'm like, man, this sounds pretty good. I moved from I got a Musician headphone amp, Andromeda, that made everything sound really good. So I'm like, this is getting somewhere. So I decided to move up from the Andromeda, and I got a Burson Audio GT3X, and then got the Fusion Core power supply for it, upgraded it with Burson V7 Vivid op amps and Silent Power 2 modules. And I listened to that. That's about a $4,000 headphone rig right there. And I'm like, this is really sounding good. So then I decided to go ahead and get a pair of Focal Stellias closed back. $3,000 headphones. blowing my mind I would ever even think of doing something like this. It started to sound as good, if not better, than my Dyne Audios with the Plinius amp in there.
Wow.
And that's when I knew I was really screwed.
Right.
It's on
You're
my
all the way
Donkey
in, all the way in
Kong.
there.
I got a cable from Arctic Cables, headphone cable, a hybrid cable. Their standard 4-foot model or something starts at like 600. I wanted 10 feet, cost me over $1,600. Plugged that in, brought out more of that perfection I was looking for. I'm like, this is just beautiful. And I started listening to them for, I think it's been a few months now. I don't even think I've listened to my listening room. So the Plinius was sitting there gathering dust. I sort of felt bad. And I decided, you know what? Maybe it's time to make a change. So I called up Wilson, offered him the Plinius.
I stopped him mid-sentence. I knew where he was going. I was like, so how much do you want for the Plinius?
You don't have to sell this that hard.
You know, how much do you want for the Plinius? And then I wouldn't let him answer that, and I told him what I'd give him for it, and I said, that's it. That's what I'll give you for it. But it was what he paid for it, so we rode. You know?
And then, because I didn't want the cash, what I wanted was a set of Focal Utopia 2022s.
Yeah.
And $5,000 headphones. You can find them used for $3,500 sometimes, between $3,000 and $4,000 maybe used. But I didn't really want to use set of headphones that expensive.
Yeah.
And I'd been looking and looking and looking. You never see open box deals. 2 days, 3 days later, all of a sudden, open box deal from Audio 46 pops up for $3,500. I call them up. I'm like, hey, you got to make this happen right now.
I said, there ain't no right now in $3,500. I'm going to sleep on this.
And I told him by tomorrow morning, I'll figure out a way to do it myself because I wasn't missing an open box deal. So he got them.
I did. I was laying in the bed and I went, ouch.
and I shit you not, 2 days later, he calls me up and he's like, they got another open box set. I'm like, what?
Yeah, like 2 days later. And
But
I
you never
like to pull the trigger again, but I didn't. I held off. Because at that point, I'd been listening to them for 2 days.
Right.
And I was like, my God, these things are amazing. See, here's my story, and it ain't very long. How I got into this crap, as far as modern times, because like you said, at one time you were in the hobby in the late 70s or whatever, and you got out of it because of life, and then you
back
got
and forth.
back and forth. Well, for me, it was in high school with Car Audio and Alpine and Rockford Fosgate and all that jazz and ADS. So then I take my break. I'm a Mac guy. I like Apple products and everything. And I was listening to Leo Laporte. Maybe y'all have heard of him. Fantastic tech podcaster, reporter, and everything. It was the announcement. It's like 5-6 years ago that Apple was going to go lossless.
Right.
And I was like, I mean, I've got a big Apple library that I bought stuff before they went on subscription. I mean, I've got thousands of dollars in that crap, and I don't listen to any of it now, except in the car, right? So, man, you are loud back there. You hear that? Yeah, go on out that way. I see you. That bird is real. So, anyway, he said that. He said about loss. I said, you mean I'm going to get the gun out and deal with him in the bird sanctuary. But basically, I was like, you mean we ain't been getting the real deal? You know? And I knew MP3 sounded bad, but that AAC format and everything, I thought that sounded pretty good, you know? Well, and they started talking to headphones on the show. They don't ever talk about this crap.
And I've been buying from HD Tracks since they started.
Yeah, and they don't even talk about this stuff. They always talk about MacBooks and so on and so forth, the iPads and everything. Apple Watches. But, dude, they started talking about I can't really say it. Sennheiser. Sennheiser headphones. And he said, yeah, I lay in the bed at night and I'm listening and I know this could be better, and I don't know why it ain't better, and all this. And he says, I know it doesn't sound like the vinyl did when I was growing up and everything. He's 70 years old, you know, so he's old school. And I was like, I got to look into this. So I did, and then all of a sudden I found out that Grado was a thing, and I was. They got $250 headphones, and they got $3,000 headphones with carts for vinyl. You know, cartridges. They've got $100 cartridges, and they got 10,000.
That's crazy.
Yeah, 25,000.
Yeah.
I mean, it's crazy. So I was like, this has got to be a good brand, and they are a good brand. But dude, it don't take long to figure out. They never were comfortable. The R2SEs.
They're the smaller, rounder cup.
Yeah.
Though, so.
I paid $500. I thought I was getting some jam, baby.
Right.
And they do sound good. They do sound good, especially when you compare them to
$100 set of
$100
somethings.
or $50 Walmart specials. They sound.
Oh God! The old school with the orange ear.
I had the iPod, the
Yeah.
classic.
Yeah.
That had like a lot of storage, and I had wired Beats, and I thought that was the jam.
Yeah, yeah.
Little did I know.
Little did you know. So I bought those Grados, and I sat here on the porch. I bought a little 5 DAC amp.
Okay.
Little thing, literally the size of like 3 or 4 stacked credit cards.
Right.
Yeah.
And I ran that thing sitting out here on the deck and enjoying the cigar and drinking coffee and stuff like that on Sunday morning. But then I bought them damn Fortes. And it got to where I guarantee you there was a 3-year spell that I never picked up them Grados. Never did. Thought, man, I need to sell them things. And then I go to your house. But a little bit before that, though, I did buy an Asgard within a year of the Grados. And I liked Asgard and everything. And then I bought a Jotunheim when I was sick. I told you, autophilia is expensive. When you're sick and you ain't got nothing to do but lay up
But
with
your finger's still strong
Right,
enough to
your
right.
foot up
That's
like
right,
that.
right.
Yeah, you're
Playing by.
My foot yesterday was 2 years since I broke my ankle. I'm sitting up there doing playing by, you know. And I bought a Jotunheim, and which is a fantastic little preamp setup. And but I just never got into it. And them damn Utopias got in my house.
Changed everything.
I knew I agreed to buy the Folkvangr, but I got to be honest with you. I called you and said, or texted with you and was like, I want to buy the Folkvangr, and you're like, I don't know about that. I don't know if I want to sell that. And you slept on it the next morning, and I slept on it too, and I talked myself out of it, actually. I was like, what do I need that? I don't need that damn thing.
He said, I'm in church. I said, well, here's your blessing, man. I'm going to sell you
That ain't fair.
Right. And here's the thing, incidentally, outside of that, I have 5 headphone amps.
So you don't need that one.
Lid Plus. I just bought the Valhalla 3.
Yeah.
I have a Valley 2. I have...
But the Valhalla 3, wait just a second. That's the mini Folkvangr.
It's a smaller version of that.
Right.
I haven't even plugged it in.
Oh,
It's
it
a
has
OTN.
4 tubes
Yeah.
in it?
Yeah, 4
Yeah.
tubes. Right.
Oh.
And then I have the 2 knit shits. I had the Magni Piety and then the Pietis Magnus.
Right.
Yeah,
So I've got
but I really don't even listen to them.
I've got 3, you got 5. I didn't listen to...
It's crazy.
if I had to listen to the Grados, I wouldn't listen to them.
Right.
It's that serious.
But guess what I'm not going to do?
What?
I'm not going to listen to this headphone.
You need
Don't
to.
do
No,
it.
I can't do it.
No.
You need to.
I have a problem.
Yeah,
So do you know what I did this week?
What did you do? You bought them.
And I'll show y'all the picture. No, I didn't. I did it yesterday.
He did something else.
I bought something else. Something else I could stomach. I was looking, I joined the group, Facebook group, Headphones.
Okay.
Or something like
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Another rabbit hole.
It is.
Damn right. And I kid you not, this old man, he had to be old, and I'm going to tell you why in a second. I didn't see him. he said the title of it was, well, we joined the JM Audio family this week. And it was a picture of his wife. She looked, no offense to him, but she looked older, like in the 70s. She is relaxed in a recliner. She has got an iPad in her lap, and she has got those JM Audios. And I'm like, who the hell is JM Audio? I've never heard of it. But this woman was chilled completely out. I'm looking, you would think I'm looking at a picture of some 25-year-old hot chick, and that's got me to looking at JM Audio. I'm looking at a 75-year-old woman in a recliner with an iPad in her lap, sitting back totally zoned out on them things. And I'm like, I've got to look this up. That was a mistake. So I spent $1,300 yesterday with JM Audio. After, by the way, talking to, it's John, I can't say his last name right now. It's not, he's from New York, and people from New York got weird names. But he, really nice guy. I sent him an email. I was like, I got these questions I don't understand. And he said, I can't call you today. I got a doctor's appointment. At the time I said I'd be available. But he called me yesterday, and we talked for 40 minutes on the phone, man. He has got a very unique offering. Have you ever heard of a 570 ohm headphone?
No.
Have you ever heard of a 720 ohm headphone? Have you ever heard of a 900 ohm headphone? I mean, it's crazy.
And he has all of that.
You can buy his, and he will put in, and by the way, he voices them. He spends 1 to 3 days, depending on what you order, voicing them to the way you want them voiced.
Wow.
1 to 3 days. So I'm like, I believe I'm going to give this guy some money. So I ordered them yesterday. They'll be here in 2 weeks.
Now you spent 13, but what was the retail on that? 'Cause I know you talked them down a little or something.
No, I didn't.
No,
I didn't.
Which ohm did you buy?
I bought the 300 because the 300 is the Folkvangr sweet spot without using op amps or anything like that.
Yeah.
So that was it. But they're gorgeous. They're absolutely. He had a set of headphones that were like, I'd say about 1,800, and I wanted them, but he said, all right, I make them in batches of 10, and it cost him, he said it cost me $5,000 every time I do a batch, just for the wood. They CNC the wood and everything, and the polishing, the whole 9 yards is $5,000 just for the wood. So I think he said 10 of them. So anyway, very custom, and I'm excited.
Yeah.
I am excited. So he was like, with that, they call that the Ecstasy 2 Megaverse is the $1,800, and you can do a couple options on it, make it like $2,000. But he was like, if you order that, it's going to be 3 to 4 months, because I'm out of that wood right now. I'm getting ready to make an order, but I got this wood. I can get these out in 2 weeks. It's just not that Megaverse thing. It was the universe.
Right.
He's got the universe, the Megaverse, and anyway, I bought.
So the components are the Megaverse, but the wood is the lower one.
No, all of them are wood. Got
No,
the
I mean in
housing.
terms of, you said he could. It would take 2 months to make the ones you were interested in.
It would take 3 to 4 months.
3 to 4 months.
It's a more
Because-
exotic wood, just real
Yeah,
Right.
pretty.
because he's out of that wood, and
And you have to do that 10.
he puts an order in, and he wants to sell a couple of them to put the order in.
Right.
Okay.
And he said it'll be 3 or 4 months.
Right.
And I was like, I ain't waiting 3 or 4 months. Tell me what else you got.
Right.
So, but it's just the difference is that the ring of wood on the Megaverse is deeper.
Okay.
It's a
You
deeper
get a
ring.
deeper ear cut.
Right.
Oh gosh.
And that's
It's not just cosmetics. It's actually physically different.
yeah,
Right.
it's physically deeper.
Hmm.
So anyway, I had never heard of JM. So I'm doing research. I'm trying to figure out what this is about, and come to find out, man, there are people that have got 40 headphones. Literally, this one dude said, "I got 40 headphones. I got 8 JMs, and I'd rather sit down." He said, "I got $10,000 headphones. I'd rather sit down with these $2,000 JMs any day."
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I'm looking forward to that.
And then I've got
That's all about the Folkvangr.
I've got a set of I've got a set of Arctic Cables headphones cables that I got for the Stellias, the hybrid ones, and I love them. And because the Utopias have a different jack on there, I had to get a different set of headphone cables. So I went ahead and ordered another set of the same ones, but for the Utopias. And I was on the phone with the guy, or email with the guy, and I'm like, a friend of mine is getting a set of headphones, and I'm sure he'll be calling you in the very near future for a set of cables. Because we all know that stock headphone cables are not the way to go.
Why? And my comment to that is in a minute. Give me a minute. Right?
Yes.
What headphones do you have?
Tell me again.
The Dan Clarks.
Dan
Oh, goodness gracious.
And they're not. What I think they retail for $700. Maybe?
Because you got the shit package with the
Yeah.
Dan Clark specials.
You can drop some coin on some Dan Clark now.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, I had a set of Dan Clark
They're definitely his low end.
aaaand X or so. I don't remember, not the aaaand X. Anyway, and they were only like maybe a $600 set. But I got those in the middle of the mezzis and everything, and I listened to them. I'm like, that sounds pretty good, you know, for a flat panel headphone. But they were inexpensive enough, and I'm like, there's got to be something up here more.
Yeah. I need for those. I don't want to go to the $1,600 level, but I do need a 10-foot pair so I can actually, you know, lay down or whatever. And
You got a $5,000 turntable. What's wrong with a $1,500 pair of headphones?
it's more far. Rosie, it was only $300.
You can get there are a lot of companies that make headphone cables, and you could get a length in whatever price range you're looking to
Right.
spend. You can get $100, $200 worth in that length.
That's probably what the area I should be in.
I started with a set of Black Dragons from Moon Audio. I got
They're
their
in Cary, by
Yeah,
the way.
right.
Yeah.
I got their 10-foot length.
Or by
That
Raleigh.
brings up another
Yeah.
subject.
And it was about $500 for their 10-foot length, and I enjoyed them for a while, but the cable was a little stiff and sort of wanted to coil itself a little bit, or it's just really stiff cable compared to the Arctic ones, which is like it's just really
Yeah,
flexible.
they are amazing.
And that's when I went to the Arctic, and it being a hybrid cable, and I love that.
Now, how are we hybrid? We're hybrid with what?
So it's Litz wire, but it's a mix of copper and silver Litz wire together, and it's probably 75% copper, 25% silver.
Wow.
In that hybrid setup like that, and for me, having a little bit of silver in that copper helps that high end just a little bit, gives you some of that sparkle. But where an all silver cable can often sound sort of harsh or bright sounding, harshness usually because it's a poor quality silver, but bright sounding because silver's a very good conductor. And if you already have a set of bright headphones and you go with a really nice silver cable, it's probably going to be too much. But this copper with just like, say, I don't know the exact percentage, but roughly 25% silver in there is just enough for a really good mixture of the sound. And they start somewhere around the 4-foot length at around $600 and move up depending upon how you want. So if you only need 6 foot and you're only spending maybe $700 or $750, you'll never have to buy another cable again once you hear this Arctic cables. So.
Right.
Now you said that the ends are different.
Yeah.
How they different?
So
I know the ones I have, they kind of plug in.
yeah, so that's your normal 1/8" stereo or mono jack, but it's just your standard jack. And the Utopias use, and I can't remember the name
Little
of the
two-pin
jack,
jack.
but it's another type of jack, like the Dan Clarks use a different. That's a third type of jack over there. So I can't just swap it out and pop it in these Focals.
Okay.
Where you could go up the whole Focal line with one set of headphones until you get to the
that.
Utopias,
Okay,
and then you
gotcha.
got a different jack.
Right.
But now, the guy on Passion for Sound, when he was reviewing the Focals Utopias, he said, I think it was him. Pretty sure it was him. I've been watching a lot of reviews this week. Even on the Focals, I probably watched 5 on the Utopias. But he said, this is it can be aggravating.
I watched that one.
That it doesn't go in anything else hardly. There's very few headphones that you can move over with it. He said, but man, when you click it in, it's in, and there ain't gonna be no, moving your arm around or
You
something.
hear the static. It's like you move like.
Right.
Wait a minute.
Yeah, very firm click.
So
in
that's
there.
like a click in almost, and I haven't done it myself. I don't know if it's a locking or just a solid
It's a solid click.
Okay,
Yeah.
so the Dan Clarks have like barrels on them. They go in and they lock in.
Yeah.
So you just talked about moving your elbow. Well, safety reasons, that pops out. Nothing happens. What happens to Dan Clark's or mine where
It's
you move your
gonna-
elbow and it rips your
It's
headphones
gonna be
off the
bad.
side of the wall?
It's gonna be bad.
There are benefits.
There are benefits. This is not going to be locked in. This is going
but it's
to
a firm
protect.
click in.
It's going to protect both the
Okay.
cable and it's anyway. Yeah.
And just for a plug for Arctic Cables, they will not only lifetime transferable warranty if you sell them, but they will re-terminate the ends of your cable for free
That's
To your
nice.
next headphone.
to whatever you want.
That's
I mean,
nice.
so for free they will re-terminate that if you decide to go from a quarter-inch jack to like a balanced jack, or if you need to go from the 1/8" jacks here to like the Focal proprietary, Dan Clark proprietary. They will do that for free.
Let me tell you what JM will do for free for life, even to second owners. Like if you sell it, the next guy, same thing. He will revoice those things. Like I can get them, and I'll be like, man, this is a little too sparkly on top. I'll ship it back, and he will. I need to get this right.
He'll take some of the fairy
I
dust
think
out.
on me, on the first owner, I think he pays round shipping. But on the second one, there is no fee. Like if you bought my JMs, he would just charge you the return shipping, and it's always free. And he will voice if you got something else like a Focal or something like that, he'll voice them. I think he said $175. So the old boy's got. I mean, customer service is it with him.
So he voiced into the headphone amp.
Yes, because after you buy them, you get sent a survey, and it's like, all right, tell me what amplifiers you got,
Okay.
and tell me what you like. And I told him I had seen a couple reviews where they talked about how they spoke to that, right? And I said I like the voice to be up front.
Okay.
I don't like with my Fortes. The voicing was always the singer was kind of in the
further
mix,
behind the band instead of in front of the band.
The Cornwalls, it's back up front, right?
Where it's supposed to be.
Right, where it's supposed to be. And my Grados, it's like the Fortes. It's the vocal is in the band. Okay, his vocals up front and center.
Right.
And
But layered in,
yeah.
but still in where it should be in that layer.
Yes.
And you get once you get into high enough headphones and stuff and everything else, you'll still get a depth layering of that sound. And I know you use Rune as well. So with Rune in the Muse setting, they have a lot of different headphone brands in there, and you can select your headphones that you have, and then there's between 3 and 5 or so EQ settings that are done by different people. Some Harman target, some not.
Right.
And
Different curves.
I like the Harman target on the Stellias really well. He uses the Harman target for the Focal or for the Utopias when we talked about it. So you can get that EQ and just press your button and go between those and go, oh, I like this sounds a little bit better. And if you went really crazy, you might go, well, I got a favorite album and it sounds better on this EQ, but for most of my rest of the stuff, I use this EQ setting. So that's one good thing with Roon.
That's nice
for us.
That is nice. They got a big database.
I
wonder if JM's in that database.
That's what I was
He's
wondering,
been
too.
making for years. He's not brand new at this. He's been going
He's been
for
at it.
a while, a long while. So,
What's our time running at?
we're at an hour and 13 minutes.
Well, we know what the last guy says, keep your video short, but this isn't going to be a short one either, and we're not cutting it up into sections either.
And we're not doing this for him.
No,
That's right.
that's right.
Hey,
He's in the minority, man.
I heard, that's right. I heard there was a comment like that, but I'm telling you, for every comment like that, I'll get 2 or 3 that'll say, man.
No, I watched it all the way through.
Yeah.
I was a little more invested, though, but I watched it all the way through.
I mean, you can stop the video,
Yeah.
you can come back later, but it's a session. We're doing this, a lot of information, a lot of BSing and stuff, and you're going to watch it and enjoy the whole thing or turn it off, whatever you want to do.
And I'll take, I drive a truck for a living. Frequently I do 3-hour runs out to the Outer Banks or 4-hour runs up to the mountains with diesel fuel or gas or both. And a lot of times I will watch a 3-hour Sean Ryan podcast. He who was it? Was it Sean Ryan? Yeah, Sean Ryan just put out a 12-hour podcast.
Whoa.
Yeah, he said he did kind of like a little trailer for it. He says, all right, guys, we're breaking records, So anyway, I've not watched that one yet. But even with the 3 hours, if I don't have a 3-hour drive, let's say I got to go to Kinston, that's an hour from Selma. I mean, just come back.
Right.
Sometimes it ain't that I'm bored with a podcast, but sometimes I watch 30 minutes of an hour podcast and then switch to another podcast. Just to change it up and then come back and finish it later. No big deal. Tips. So.
Oh, it's
anyway.
supposed to be the dill shit fest or something.
The dill shit fest. Oh, you talking about what I named it there at the beginning? I can't even remember what I named it. I think I'll put that in the tagline.
We'll have probably another little short video tomorrow when we do Wilson's cloud on his ceiling, and some more video footage of the Plinius in action, and so things to look forward to on the next video.
Yeah, that Plinius. What was it before we turned it on? You remember what I told you?
No, not that. Oh, if we don't hear it, it's going back.
I said if I don't hear the difference, because
Well-
I'm doubtful too. I'm doubtful.
Well,
You're
here's the thing.
always
Let me
doubtful.
say this for the audience. What I'm going to do, once we go offline, I'm going to try to convince Wilson to sell me back my Cornwalls and sell me that amp. I'm going to make him an offer he can't refuse.
Just a small restocking.
There you go.
A small restocking fee. Well, I don't know, man.
It's not going to happen.
No, I'm not saying it ain't gonna happen, because every man has his price, is what I've been told my whole life. I mean, here's the thing with me. I have been wanting a pair of La Scalas. but the problem with the La Scala, number one, I do not want the AL6 is the new ones, right?
I'm not sure.
Okay, the new ones run. You don't
They
have
have like a DPS. DSP.
Yeah, that's right, a DSP.
Right.
You don't have to run that, but
You need a bigger room.
them damn things are wide. Them Cornwalls are wide, and the La Scalas are wider. Here's the thing: 30 hertz is as low as they're going to go, and they're not even loud. I wouldn't do the AL6s. I wouldn't do them simply because of that DSP business.
Okay.
I'm not into that.
Right.
I would rather get the AL5s, and there's plenty on the used market. Well, I say there's plenty. There's always one or two. That's what I mean.
Right.
At any given time, there's one or two nationwide, right? So, but you're looking used a set of AL5s. You're looking $6 or $7 grand.
No,
And-
we can if you get another set of Cornwalls,
You can come up and
I can. Well, I can't necessarily. Well, I mean, I might be able to come up there and do what we did. I can bring all the tools up. Me and Wilson will both come up and do that. So we could do that.
Dude,
there
that
for you.
pilot was packed out. You hear me?
Really?
Oh,
He's
yeah,
made
to-
two
to-
trips
to-
like that.
to
Two
the
trips
brim.
packed out.
As far as the Plinius is concerned, you can find some other models, especially their Class A's, like I discussed before. But that particular SB-301 model is a very rare find. So not only should he not give it up, but if you are lucky to find one of those, good luck. If not, there are many other of the like 200 watts a channel Class A ones that you might be interested in. Start looking for now that you know the name and have heard the tone.
And look, they're a New Zealand company. One thing you need to be careful with, and this is, Jay's audio. He's in Texas now, but he was in Florida forever, and he's gone to Texas and built those sound rooms. You know what I'm talking about.
Are we going there? Are we going there when we go to Dallas?
No, because that's in Houston, and I don't want to go in that. In July, I don't want to go to Houston. It's too hot. Absolutely not. So I lived in Texas a year, and I know. So anyway, Jay made the comment on a recent video. He was talking about how to buy used, and I wouldn't follow everything he said because at the end of the day, he's trying to sell stuff. Used. He sells used. And a little bit of new stuff, but mainly used market, high, ultra high end stuff. And he's got some I'm not going to say mid-fi because I think of mid-fi like shit. When I say mid-fi, for him, it's like 20 grand.
Okay.
He sells $100,000 fucking amplifiers, okay? And $250,000 speakers and so on and so forth. But one thing he said that you need to be careful about buying, you need to watch that video. Maybe I'll tag it in there. But he talks about the frustrations of buying an amplifier or preamplifier, whatever, an electronic device from a foreign company. Plinius is New Zealand. A lot of these ultra high-end companies.
Burson is New Zealand. Burson Audio.
Yeah. But a lot of these New Zealand, not New Zealand, but a lot of these foreign companies, European, et cetera, you're talking about if there's a problem with your amplifier or preamp or whatever you bought, you're probably talking 2 to 3 months to get it turned. Just off of shipping. And then what if something happens during shipping?
Right.
So, and getting something to go across the pond, man, that's a lot of work. And it's expensive. You're going to have to get that thing out there. And he talks about this aspect. He says, you're 60 years old. He even said the number. He said, you're 60, you're 65 years old. And these are 150-pound monoblocks. You know what I'm saying? Each monoblock's 150. Mine's 85, And he said, you're going to have to get your nephew to come help you out or whatever. And I get that. But he was talking about whether you should buy new or used, and then it was like, do you need to buy foreign or domestic, and how to make these decisions, and it is important to consider it. It was when I agreed to buy that. That's about the time that thing come out, and that thing's from New Zealand. And I immediately started getting online. I was like, man, I'm going to find out where the service centers are for this.
There's
And
a really
got-
good one in New York that specializes in recapping and upgrading Plinius amplifiers, and they are well known specifically for that.
So they got one in Seattle, one like in Portland, one in LA, and the one in New York, and I think they got one out in the Midwest. That these people are certified. So in other words, you're not from your house. It's a 4-hour drive.
Right.
You're not going to be left alone.
Right.
and that's important.
Right.
And I
Something
can
to think
hook.
about.
I can hook you up with another friend of mine who got me into the Plinius brand. He is somewhere in New York, which is maybe worth the drive for
Right.
you, because he has 2 of those Class A's
Okay.
stacked up, and some very expensive speakers and stuff, and a decently treated room. His name is Russell Henry, and I'll link you 2 guys on
Okay,
Facebook,
cool,
because
great.
I'm sure he's willing to show, and you're probably at this point willing to want to go hear
Yeah, I'm
something.
gonna listen
so.
to it. I definitely got to listen to it.
But you know, the SB-301 is a really nice amplifier. I think that's been proven today.
Mm-hmm.
But there's an advancement. I mean, they
You
have
could get
current
2.
models. Well, no, I'm saying
Oh, yeah, you
they've
do.
got.
Yeah, I'm not gonna do that.
No.
Yeah, I hear you. Well, I'm not.
I'm gonna stay in my. I'm gonna stay in my lane.
Yeah.
You know, I'm gonna definitely stay in my lane. I think the better thing to do is to try to convince you, because at some point you're gonna be, you know.
It'll be. I'm not telling
This is an
you
amp you can
no.
die with. This is an amp you can die with.
When he builds the new house, he's gonna.
I could amp wise.
That'll power your Magic Host.
I'm going to tell you what that amp did for me. That amp is going to satisfy the longing that I have. I want I think it's 200 or 225 watt Pass Labs, but you know you're talking about a $15,000 amplifier. That amp right there satisfies it. It puts that off.
Right.
I may do that in 5-6 years or something. I may not.
Right.
You know, if
That
that
sounds
amp.
good. You got a great sound.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, what could the difference be?
Well,
and I'm
you're getting to those very, very,
Right.
and you already hear what
That's-
that's giving you.
that's
What
right.
what kind of 2% are you looking for from that thing?
Yeah. And look, you and I, we love PS Audio. I don't know how y'all feel about it, but I listen to Paul every morning, man. They drop that podcast at like 2:00 in the morning, and I get up at 3, and that's the first thing I put on YouTube on the TV downstairs drinking coffee is Paul McGowan. I've got to solve my preamp issue. Now my choke point is my preamp.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I got a Freya. That thing has been nails. There ain't no doubt about it. I brought other preamps in here and tried them out. A Kara, Schiit Kara.
Which is sort of on par.
I've
Yeah,
got
yeah.
the Freya with S with the 4 tubes.
Yeah.
The Nova.
You got the Plus.
The Plus.
Plus.
You got the Plus.
Man, I think it's hot.
I've got the Novel. It's 110 degrees.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've got it up on the
I have a
horizon.
Plus, yeah.
It gets hot.
Yeah. I'll never forget when Jason introduced the Freya, because I was getting into Grado mess about that time, and I was looking at buying an Asgard, and I'll never forget him talking about the Freya Plus. He said, "Don't let your cat sit on it."
Right.
They
Yeah.
won't
Right.
sit on it.
He said, "Don't turn that thing on with your cat."
I
sitting
can warm
on it."
soup up on
Yeah. Yes, sir.
It gets hot.
Yes, sir.
And I just got done. I got a PS Audio Stellar Gold preamp, and it was phenomenal.
Your dude sold it.
Well, so
That was part of him clearing out some stuff.
yeah, I mean,
He had it 3 months.
I did not even have it 3 months, but one of my other guys on the ABX group, he had been looking for one. He said he was 37 on the refurbished list to get it. And I'm like, I was already talking to him about the headphones, and I'm like, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and pass this on, because I'm not necessarily going to need it now where I'm at with my speaker gear. I'll pass this on. Maybe he'll put me on the list at 37 into his place, which he said yes. But he got it, and he just raved about all the improvements.
It's a
and-
good sounding preamp. We put it up there
Yeah.
with the Cornwalls.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a good sounding preamp, man. Preamps do make a difference.
A big difference, let me tell you, they do.
So the BHK, all right, you got the PMG, which is what's out now. It's $9,000 for a preamp.
Mhm.
That replaced the BHK. BHK stands for, it's a man's name. Baskin King. Bascom H. King. And he was a designer. He just passed away a couple years ago, maybe a year ago. But in 2013, he designed that preamp, and they got it out in 2015. And until last year, that was that was their preamp.
No, you can get one of those used for $3 or $4 grand.
You can, dude, it swings.
There's a swing on it.
I found it at 2,600 mint, and I found it at $4 grand.
Okay.
And I've seen several.
And it has like
Well, I
two
say
little
several. I've seen like
tubes
five.
and something in the power.
It's got
thing.
2 tubes.
And it does sound, from the review I read, just a little bit warm compared to the Stellar Gold. And the guy who made this review said even though it has more inputs, he wasn't in for that little bit warmer sound, so he preferred the Stellar Gold.
And for me, all right,
You need-
Stellar
you
Gold's
need
got
inputs.
2 inputs,
Yeah.
and this has got like 6
Yeah.
or 5.
Mm.
It's kind of like the Freya. The Freya's got a bunch of inputs. For me, I've got everything. You know, really and truly, you need digital and vinyl.
Right.
But for me, I really want a PS Audio SACD player. And they're about $3 grand on the used market. If you get the PMG, it's 9.
Now, why do you need? I just don't understand.
Why?
If you can rip them, why do you need to play it physically? Why? What? For what?
Because I'm a prick.
There you go. Okay, that's.
I have the urge.
Huh?
Shit
Yeah, oh, you do. I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah, I saw it on your table. I'm like, I'm gonna call him up and see if he wants to get rid
And
of
see,
it.
this is my gripe with Jason. I love aesthetics.
Yeah.
I love industrial design.
Right.
I like the way that herb looks.
Yeah.
I think it mixes in with your shit stuff perfectly.
Mm-hmm.
And you might say, well, why wouldn't you get a herb? Well, number one, they're not making them right now. But number two, you won't sell me yours. And number 3, it won't run a SACD.
Only CD.
That's right.
So
Only CD.
I'm out.
Right.
I mean, I'm going to have DSD and a SACD.
Right.
I'm going. Jason lost that argument with us.
Mm.
I mean, we're going to have DSD. I bought a DSD album of Bill Evans this morning.
Did it?
I mean, we're going to have DSD
Right.
because there is a difference, and I don't care. I know we're the 1%, but that's fine. I've been in the minority my whole life, bro. It's fine.
So from that perspective, I've been into high definition music for a long time. I came back when HD tracks first started, and I was ripping CDs and stuff before then. But on my system, I have a couple different recordings of stuff that was recorded in, like, say, CD, and then like 9624. And then because I get from HD tracks, I got a couple of the same album in like DSD 64 and DSD 256.
Right.
And as you go up in those sampling rates, the higher that sampling rate, the more samples per second it can take, and the more information you can get in that is the closer you're going to get to a true analog waveform. And when you start listening to that, you start hearing more nuances and stuff in the recording each time you step up
I agree.
in sampling quality. And
I've played that game too.
so
definitely
you
that.
know,
It's definitely
it's
that.
there,
It's
it's there.
It is
And
there.
can that be transferred from the physical media to like a hard drive or?
Yes, you're doing
I've
that
got.
now, aren't you?
I got the setup for it. I've just not bought any more SACDs.
Okay, so
Right.
there's a way to
I've got
rip
3 or
an
4.
SACD
I think I've got one in
and put it
Chicago,
onto
too.
onto
Really?
their hard drive.
I would
I've
love to rip that.
done
If
a
you
lot
can
of that.
have
A
it.
friend of mine's
Really?
done
Yeah,
some of
I'm
that
not
for
gonna
me.
buy
I actually
SACD.
gave him my
Well,
equipment to
in
do
May,
it. Wilson has it now.
we'll go down there May
It's
2nd,
very
and
inexpensive
we're going to your house.
purchase.
I'll take it out.
If you let us, I want to see
SACD
your.
player to do it.
I
wanna see your
Like
setup.
a
Oh,
Sony
sure.
one, you
I
can
wanna-
get a
I wanna
user
hear
sheet,
them wolf
and
dance.
then from that it's
But-
just a
but
computer
they're not like
program.
what you have,
And once
but
you get it
I
set up
like
for the
them.
initial
That's all that
few
matters.
minutes
Yeah.
of figuring
That
out
is
what
all
to
that
set
matters.
up, you just put that thing in there, you press the rip button on your program, and
Oh,
it's,
got
It is not that easy.
once you get
It-
it set up, once you get it set
So
up.
I did everything they told me. It's a mind meld. Have you ever seen something that the instructions read out and it's like the instructions are screwed, man? The instructions were not as complete as everybody was saying they were. They really won't. And I'm not saying, look, I'm a college educated man. I can read.
Right.
Okay? And I'm telling you, these instructions suck. So I'm going through the instructions, and and none of this stuff is working. I bought the Sony player. Wasn't that Sony?
Yeah.
The Sony DVD player.
SACD
I've burned my little thumb drive, stuck that in the back, and I've done everything. And man, I was about to get out of my mind. I mean, I can't tell you how many times I started that thing up and it started coughing and throwing out the disc and
then
everything.
once you figured out the right way,
and once you figure it out, it'll click.
Just like that.
It's just,
and
it
now
takes
what do you
3
do?
minutes.
You turn the program on the computer, you open the drive, you drop the thing in the drive, it closes, you press the button, and it zips it over, and there's your file, just like that.
It's, if I remember right, it's on the it's on the thumb drive, isn't it?
No, that's just the reprogramming software for these.
Yeah,
to make it into a recorder.
Yes, you're right. So anyway, it works.
Right.
And it's easy once you get it set up.
It is a hack job, though.
Yeah.
It is an absolute hack job, but it'll cost you. I guess I got. Some of these guys say, "Well, I ain't got $25 in my DVD player."
Right.
Yeah, you're a liar too. You paid $75 like the rest of us.
Well, yeah,
So,
you can. So you can get one of the used Sony players for about $50-$75 or something like that.
There is a whole list of different players that'll work.
You can get an Oppo player
But
if you
some
want
of
to spend
them work-
hundreds of dollars that you don't need.
Yeah, some of them work better than others.
Mm-hmm.
What was the
Right.
inexpensive Schiit DAC you said? The little one?
The Modi
Modi?
Multibit.
I have that.
That's
Okay,
a
so
good
here's
one.
what I did. I bought one of those Sony DVD players, but it had optical, or it had a digital out.
Nice.
And I ran it through that.
Sounded
And ran it through a little system. It's like,
that's really good.
this is not much money, and it sounds amazing.
Because you're getting away from the onboard DAC in the player,
Right.
and going to a DAC that's actually a lot better than that.
Right.
And then that being a transport, I mean, if you got a $5 Chinese one with a digital output, that digital
It's
output
under $300, and it sounds amazing.
Yeah.
And if you got a DAC like we got, it's got the reclock in it and everything. That's important. And all these DACs have clocks, but the quality of the clock matters.
Right.
Oh yeah.
And when you're talking about a $6,000 DAC, you've got a quality clock. Schiit just come out with that
The
ETR2
eater.
that would help with some of that. It does have a clock in it. It's got a high quality clock, quality clock.
That's really meant for the lower budgeted guys that are just
have one of
getting
those
into
right
that.
I do not understand why he didn't put I2S. He has got like a.
Could I do?
This
could
is.
I do that with
I
that
have
or
two
not?
criticisms of Jason and Schiit, and number one is they
Don't
You don't
will
think
not
No.
do DSD, and they will not do I2S. And I don't
can't
know
say
if it's
100% sure.
an issue they
Like I
got
said,
with.
most of the other
PS audio or- I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is.
You can get
But they
these
will
for
not do either one of them. You know,
$55.
I2S is.
One of the PlayStations are on the list.
It's
too,
not a
but you can
proprietary
just get
format,
used
but it's a
one of
format
these
that
for
PS Audio
$55.
developed.
Together, right?
And you put
And-
a little program on
Was it
the
licensed?
USB drive.
No,
and put it in
well,
the back
no,
of it,
it's
and it
it's public,
reprograms
open
and
source,
allows it
open
to
source.
be
They
a
made it free for
transport
everybody.
to feed
Dinner
that
for its
Oh,
computer
okay,
program.
gotcha.
There's
But-
4 or
And
5 other
like I
brands
said,
that
once
use
it
it.
takes a
you know.
few minutes to set it up, maybe figure out them instructions. But once you do that, you open your computer program.
Speak up.
The door opens, you put it in there, it closes, you press burn, and it zips it over into your computer, and you do with it what you want then. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I've got a lot of stuff like that.
But I
need my
like.
Dire Straits discs.
Yes, they're in there. We'll get them.
We'll get 'em.
But I'm telling you right now, there's something, back to the whole reason of why do you have an ERD? Why do I want an SACD
Why
player?
do you need to put the
Why do I
physical
want-
disc in there? Why?
Why do I need a freaking
Vinyl.
$5,000, $6,000 vinyl front end?
So what I want you to do
Because
is
I want
I
it.
want you to get this.
I wanna
and then
feel
I
it.
want you to tell me if it sounds any different afterward.
It may not. It may not sound one bit different. look.
It's just
It's more about options than
It's feel,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
you know,
getting up to flip the record instead
Whatever.
of pressing the button. Yeah, I know.
whatever. Leave me alone. Leave me alone.
See, I only play records when people are older. I don't play. I just can't sit there and do it.
Dude, well, I didn't.
He doesn't
understand
really
you.
like to listen to vinyl when he's sitting there.
Yeah, unless I have like
Oh.
if it's 4 or 5 people there, then
Well, if
maybe.
there's 4 or 5 people there, I don't pull the vinyl out because it
Then
becomes
it's the opposite
people
for
want
him.
people want to go to the
Touch
next track. They want
Right.
to go. They want to be on Steely Dan, and then go to Gregory Porter
Right, it's a
over here.
different-
It makes it hard. But now, the first time he was over at the house, he was like, and I had the vinyl front end like it is right now. Riga P6, Hanna ML, Sutherland 2020 preamp, and he was like, okay, I want to hear vinyl. You talk about how good the vinyl sounds. I want to hear the vinyl. And at that same time, my digital front end was not as good as my vinyl, and I was frustrated by that. Now it is on par. They're on par together.
Mhm.
I'll put an album on, and I can't hardly tell the difference.
How'd you feel about the vinyl when you heard it?
At that stage, and I forgot whether you listened to Supertramp or something.
Dude, we played 20 albums.
No, we didn't.
Yes, we did. We
But-
flipped 20 albums.
Because of his digital front end at that point being lower quality, I actually preferred the vinyl, and I haven't heard a real decent vinyl setup practically ever. My digital setup's really high, so I wanted to see how the vinyl sounded, and at that point in time, I liked the vinyl sound a little bit better. Now that his digital front end is up there, he's saying they're pretty much on par. So,
If
I
it's
haven't heard it yet.
if it's a high quality recording on vinyl, and it's a high quality recording on digital, I can barely tell the difference. I have sat there and gone click on the sources, and got them time aligned
Yeah.
and level match.
and level match, and if they're good recordings, I can barely tell the difference. And that's what you want, right? You know?
And people are always trying to compare vinyl and digital, but they got a $300 DAC or something, and a $5,000 phono setup, and it's like, listen, you can't compare apples to oranges. It has to be, you've got your player, you've got your phono cartridge, you've got your phono preamp. And that all has to transfer over to my DAC and whatever else goes along with that digital side before they both go into a preamp. And you can't compare $6,000 to a $300 DAC. You got to get it even. And once you get it fairly even, it's pretty freaking even. And then once we get into DSD, high quality DSD, that should sound a lot better than the record does.
Yeah. I can definitely tell the difference between the DSD and like even a 192.
Oh yeah.
There's a difference between that. And it just becomes a situation of what you're willing to pay for at that point, right? Do I want that difference? Is that difference worth another 15?
And if you're hearing it, and at the
2,000.
same time, that you can get a 2496 from HD Tracks, maybe $20. Then as you go up the DSD lines, it's another $5, another $5, another $5, to where I'm spending $30 instead of maybe $15. But when you hear that, you're more than happy to pay twice as much money for that album.
The option things come in too, because depending what you want to listen to. I mean, some stuff is never be available digitally.
Yeah.
And then there's a period of vinyl between 1985 and 1990 or 2000 where vinyl pretty much sucked.
Terrible.
And-
Terrible,
and-
man.
Right. So,
And part of
So
that
you
was
prefer vinyl?
yeah, most of the time.
Okay.
But I don't alienate digital.
No, but,
But vinyl's my first choice.
Okay.
part of that was that deal to where the late 80s and on up to really about 05 or something like that
Yeah.
was I heard somebody was talking about that on podcast here recently, and they got into detail on that, and I'll give you the gist of it. Was they were just getting into digital in the mid '80s,
Mhm.
and dude, they were making shit recordings.
Mhm.
They didn't know what they were doing.
As we all
Right.
know,
It
the
was
Dire
trial
Straits
and error.
album was the first all
Yeah.
digital album.
Yeah,
Yeah,
So-
money for nothing else. Right.
Yeah.
that's it.
Yeah.
And evidently they were practiced up because they nailed that one. But there was a bunch of them that they just botched.
And they've never been redone. A lot of them until now. And now some of them are being remastered properly.
And matter of fact, one of the guys from Dire Straits has actually said that the remastered album, don't buy it because, or the remastered digital one that they're selling now, because its recording was taken from a poorly EQ'd old digital copy.
Oh, yeah.
And he said, just don't do it.
Yeah.
So which remastered?
There's a new Money for Nothing remastered album. And
like when? 2016?
this year.
This year?
Yeah.
And
Who did it?
I don't know. I've got them all on mobile fidelity,
yes,
the
'cause
whole
Mofire
collection, and they all sound great.
They sound fantastic.
But the ones that are available for $39.95 aren't that great.
Right.
And I'm not sure who does them.
Yeah, and I'll tell you something else with Chicago you need to watch out for. Friday music. You know, they did some of theirs with Rhino, and you know the way these music houses are involved. I don't understand sometimes. Like, I'm shocked at how Rhino's got their fingers in a lot of things that in a lot of Atlantic stuff, and I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know how the rights and everything are spread out, but anyway, it essentially what Friday Music did, and Friday was involved because I mean I can take albums, OG albums that I've got from Chicago, and Friday's down there in the bottom, Friday Music, and Rhino. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I don't understand all that.
Yeah.
But anyway, Friday Music, probably about 3 years ago, Lee Lawthorne, the trumpet guy, the guy who actually was the one who, I mean, they all started Chicago, but you know what I'm saying? He was the one like, hey, we need to start a band.
Right.
He's the trumpet player, and he got together with Friday Music and put his seal of approval because that's all he could have done. He was not involved. They said in the promo and the marketing materials that Lee Lawthorne was involved in the master. He wasn't involved in anything. If he was, he needs to be kept out of that mastering studio. That is the worst. I bought it. I spent $50 on that daggone Chicago 2 Friday Music, and then they did a 2, they did a 5, and a 6, because that's how Chicago calls
numbered
their
albums, yeah.
deals. They did a 2, 5, 6, and I think a 10.
The first one is Chicago Transit Authority.
Yes,
Right.
and that we were just talking about that the
That's
other day.
And guys, that Chicago 2, I would rather hear my cat growl and scratch.
Wow.
It's terrible. Absolutely terrible. And I've got a couple of OGs, a couple of different pressings of OGs. I know what that thing's supposed to sound like. It's flat. It ain't got no jam. The cymbals ain't right in it. The bass guitar ain't right. Nothing about that daggone album is right. And they're terrible.
I don't have the one you don't like, but I've got maybe 3 or 4 copies, including the OG that I bought in high school.
Right. Yeah.
When it first came out.
Yeah.
But the box set that Rhino did in the last couple of years with other albums, that's pretty good.
So a Chicago reissue,
In
a
a
box
box,
set.
in a box set of Chicago too.
But Friday didn't have nothing to do with it.
I don't
I
know.
don't know if we have any Pink Floyd fans here, but Mo-Fi, I liked all the old Mo-Fi stuff they used to do. And Dark Side fans, where we all have 5, 6, 8 copies of Dark Side of the Moon. Pink, I used to love the Mo-Fi stuff. Sounded the best you could get. And I think 2 years ago, Pink Floyd just remastered most of their catalogs, 6 to 8 discs. They're available on HD tracks, and I no longer listen to my MoFi discs. Those
That's
remasters
crazy.
are beautiful. And I have some
Wow.
Doug Sachs remasters of like Pink the Wall and stuff, but all the new remasters have now just beaten those hands down. In case anybody wanted to know.
Yeah. I've got on MoFi. I've got the original Dark Side, and
Oh, dude.
but they had the UHQR box that they produced way back then that no one has,
Yep.
and it's like $2,000 if you can find it.
What's the value on that?
The what? The one I have?
On that MoFi reissue, the one done what in '77 or
Yeah.
'78 or something like?
$350 or so.
Is that all?
A good copy.
Is that all?
And I have metal,
No, I don't want to.
unopened, sealed, and that's my second most expensive album in my collection. I've never opened it, but that thing's worth $800.
Yeah,
I love
every
that.
dime of it.
Yeah.
There's people paying. When you said $300 or $400 for a,
Yep.
I think it may be the Wall. Did they read? No, it's
I have
it's
CBS Master Sound of the Wall, and that's worth some serious money too.
yeah.
And I have the Doug Sachs remastered version of that, which is just a little bit more bass in there, and I enjoy that version until you get to the new high resolution versions of it, and then it's like, no, we just put all that in the closet.
You know, you would think that with the reputation that Acoustic Sounds and Chad has, the care they take in acquiring, and when they acquire the masters, the care that they have and the reputation they have as far as taking care of everything, you would think, and the relationship they have with Atlantic, because they've got a stellar relationship with Atlantic. You would think Led Zeppelin would get redone.
Oh God!
But old
Oh,
Jimmy,
what
old
was it?
Jimmy has got it locked up.
On the vinyl thing with, didn't they make a box set? It was classic recordings, and it's worth like a fortune. It comes like in a little metal box, and like classic. And so those
When was it done?
10 years ago.
Well, back in the late '90s,
Or more.
Zeppelin did a CD box set in a grayish two-tone like CD 10 box set, and I got that, and I just love that. But I have got like pretty much almost all those Led Zeppelin albums now in high resolution, mostly from HD tracks. And the other day I was listening to those Stelios, and it just happened to pop on when it was like in the radio version, and all of a sudden I'm like, that sounds really good.
I do have that Led Zeppelin 2, the Robert Ludwig. I've got one. And it is hot. My copy is probably very good. I mean, there's only a couple songs that might have a little tick in them, but man, that thing is hot.
No doubt.
It's like, turn this thing down a little bit.
But Jimmy Page will allow Atlantic and all of them to fill the shelves up at Target and Walmart.
Yeah.
He'll allow that. They're brand new, but they're not. They're run off digital. That's all they are.
Yeah.
He will not allow somebody like Chad or
To get a
I can't
original.
wrap my head around it.
Right.
And he's got that. Chad's got that relationship with the guys at Atlantic. That it just looks like they would put the hammer down, but evidently Jimmy's got the contractual leeway on it of whether or not
Yeah.
that goes.
I guess the stuff that Chad's doing in the big pie, it's just it's a small slice, no matter what.
Yeah. Well, when he did Steely Dan, and when he did Jimi Hendrix, and when he did what do you call the? I don't care for the music myself.
Cross yourselves, Nash.
No, the oh man, the
Dusty is
the reggae guy,
Bob Marley.
Bob Marley.
I did subscribe to that whole set.
You
Yes.
did,
Yeah.
and I'm like,
It's a good
I don't even want to hear that mess. I have
man.
no desire for that whatsoever. None.
It sounds good though.
But
Oh, it is.
he had to agree with all of those Steely Dan, Bob Marley's family, Jimi Hendrix's family. He had to agree to do all the albums, regardless of how well they
And
would
there's been
sound
glitches in the whole
or
thing.
sell.
The thing almost fell apart
Yeah.
recently. He had to go to London. They decided to do some of that remastering at Abbey Road.
Yeah.
For the Bob Marley deal?
He thought he had the whole thing all settled, all ready to go, and something went wrong. He had to fly to London, and they had to bring the tapes. It's like, oh my god, it almost fell apart.
You can only play it on this machine, or we're only going to allow you to bring them this far away from where they're at, or something like that. Yeah.
Well, you know, at one point in time with the reissues, like in the early 2000s, the only reason they were running tape was to put crap on a Walmart shelf. I mean, there was no niche market like there is now.
Yeah.
And there were tapes, like Bernie Grumman would have tapes, and it would be something like some Michael Jackson run or something, and I think what Chad said was he walked into Bernie's studio and he looked over and saw these, it was the Beatles. It was something, or maybe, I don't know, it was something big.
You wouldn't expect to see.
It was something you would not expect to see just laying around. And he asked him about it, and he says, man, I've told him to come get it. He says, it's been sitting there at the end of my desk for 2 years. I have been telling them to come get it. And now the table has flipped, and they won't let them out.
Wow.
You know?
How are you on time?
Probably.
It's almost 4.
Yeah.
It's
But
3:55.
I'll be all right.
So if we're going to get into steak territory, you keep
Yeah,
it
no,
up.
I think I'm gonna wrap it up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hear you.
I just didn't want him to be late, or cut the video off in a good point here.
It ain't happening. I mean, you can leave. I'm not going to hold you tight. But if I cut the video off, you're going to try to go to talking to me into some stuff.
You see, I'm looking at you, right?
Ladies and gentlemen, it's been a wonderful
Here's
show.
the thing. Just put me on the list for the amplifier.
Oh
Yeah.
no, I get that back first. I get first dibs getting it back.
Oh, okay. Got it.
Wait a minute.
But I'm probably not gonna
Technically
lose on it.
speaking, that transaction was closed. And I never recall you ever saying one word. That transaction is closed.
Okay, fine, whatever. I don't care.
You're in a real
Well,
sweet
maybe
spot.
we can barter that. My first right to refusal.
Oh, there you go. For the other writer.
For the
Folkvangr.
headphone. Yeah.
Yeah.
We could probably work something out there.
Yeah. Y'all gonna be swapping rights of refusal.
Yeah.
Look, let me tell you something. I ain't never seen no horse trading like we did on this deal right here. I mean, dude, it was like
magical.
one of them 3 or 4 team. Have you ever seen, like in baseball or football, they do like a 3 or 4 team trade?
Right.
I'm like, I can't even follow the arrows. You know? I mean, it's crazy.
Because I was talking to him about the Folkvangr, and then I'm like, because there was one for sale, right, that you saw on the
Yeah, I
shit
did see
group
one.
that sold, and I'm like, man, it's gone. I'm like, I'm gonna call Ty up because
Right.
we had talked
Right.
way long ago, and I'm gonna call Ty up, and I waited, and he like half an hour later is like, I called Ty up. I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm like, oh.
You were, hey, look. A, wait a minute. No, let me tell the truth about that. A, you weren't going to do anything.
I wanted it, but I didn't want it.
B, secondly,
I wanted to hear it. That was it.
secondly, you would have sold it in a month or 2.
To you.
Yeah. Okay.
So he turns gear quicker than you do.
He does.
No, not
He
not
does.
in general. I don't. But I've moved up to my Dynaudio speakers I got in 2020, and they're still there. They have I'll probably die with those things.
I had my Fortes for 4 years.
I got the Plinius 2 years ago for my 50th birthday to myself because I was moving up from the Vidars monoblocks, and I wanted an end game amplifier. So I'm just bit the bullet and did it. I've been really happy, but since I got the headphones, like I said, it's been collecting dust, and it's hard for me to watch gear sit there and collect dust when I know someone else can get an enjoyment out of it.
Yeah.
So that's what I do.
But
And that was a part of the reason why I decided to sell it to amp to him.
Because he'll use it.
Right. And he bought the Cornwalls.
Well, that doesn't
I
hurt.
appreciate you, man. What were you going to
Ty,
say?
your
before?
speakers are Magnapans?
Magnapans.
Yeah.
1.5 1.7
How
inches.
big are they?
Yeah, 1.7.
It's about 6 feet.
Yeah,
Yeah.
6 feet.
6 feet high. They're
Now-
about 16 inches wide.
Yeah,
So.
I was watching-
I've heard some before. They're
Yeah.
really nice.
Yeah, they are. I was watching Hi-Fi 5, which is a kind of a new podcast. It's been out about 6 months.
Mhm.
And he was interviewing a speaker maker in Europe, and I can't remember the name of the speakers. But he asked him, he said, if you were going to recommend to somebody a speaker to have, but it cannot be yours, what would it be? The guy did not even stutter. He said, Magnapan. He said, I don't understand. He said, over here in Europe, he talked about the import, the tariffs, because they got tariffs, and they've had tariffs forever, by the way.
Mhm.
They've had big time tariffs on our crap for decades. And he said between the tariffs, the shipping, the taxes, the what they call it, the VAU tax,
VAT.
Yeah, the VAT,
Yeah.
whatever it is, between everything, it literally doubles the cost of the Magnapans. He said, you people in America are sick. Every audiophile in the United States ought to own a set of Magnapans.
Wow.
And he named the digit. He said they're $3,000,
Right.
brand new. He says, you don't own these? He says, okay, so it's not your thing, so you move it in and out. But you got them,
Yeah.
right? You move it in and out. You put a set of Cornwalls up. You get tired of Cornwalls, you roll them out, and you roll the Magnapans in. He said there's nothing out there that's got the detail that a Magnapan has. Dollar for dollar,
Yeah.
pound for pound. So
It's a very immersive speaker. So even for my room, the Cornwalls were a little boomy, and it may have been how I had them set up or whatever.
And then the box itself.
Right, the box itself. But those panels, man, they sound really good, man. So I'm interested to see how it sounds once I do some room treatment.
So what do you push them with?
So I have two things. I have the Schiit Plus as a pre into a Rogue Audio Atlas the dock version, which is kind of an upgraded version. And then I just sold the MacIntosh 252,
You did.
but I bought the 352.
All right.
So how? All
A
right.
single one?
Yeah.
So how many watts is that?
So it's, I want to say maybe 250 into 8, and then no, 3 some into 8, and then
A Macintosh amp like that?
no, it's maybe 250 into 8, and then 3, about 3 some, a little shy of.
So the Magnapan's a 4 ohm, right?
Right, 4 ohm.
So it's throwing out some heat.
Yeah, but it does really well. Actually, the
Yes,
252 sounded really good with them.
So don't Magnapans like a
They like-
really
they
high
like-
dampening factor?
Well, they like a lot of current. Like he was saying that amp up there has a lot of high current, continuous, and that's what they need.
Right.
So that's why I'm kind of interested in that amp right there.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I'll just swap you.
we can do that.
Ooh.
Huh?
We can do that.
No, I can't do that.
We can do that. We can
I-
just let's
You should try it, right? And let's both see how it listens.
Hey,
you
and
do
we're-
a session with it, and I'll do a session. and
we're
then
putting
do
the
it.
deal on right now.
Yeah.
We're making the deal now. Here's the deal. First right of refusal on either way. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
In other words, I just got the thing up there. I want to listen to it for a while. But when I get tired of it,
Let's talk.
let's talk.
There you
And
go.
when you get tired of yours, let's talk.
There you go.
And if
Okay.
either of you do it and one of you doesn't like the way it sounds, you get to
Get to go
say
back.
no.
Right.
Because I mean, yeah, okay,
Right.
yeah, I see that.
That's
It's a
the right
win-win.
of
It's a
refusal.
win-win. It's a
Yes.
win-win.
Yeah. So for me, I've always wanted MacIntosh. That green light, something about it.
Yeah.
I love.
I almost bought one of their turntables just for the green.
Oh,
Yeah,
so
That big
good.
giant piece of
Acrylic
lucite or
platter.
whatever.
yeah, they got you, man. They are sexy. They are. For me, I was up at Audio Advice. You got to come up in August and you got to come over in August, and you ought
I
to
gotta
come
come
down.
down. I got
Yeah,
to.
All right, we'll do it
it's
again.
it's a little bit shorter of a ride for
There
you.
you go.
So in August, I think it's usually the first weekend in August. We'll do that.
Yeah, that's easy.
Yeah, that's real easy for us, for all of us, really. But they had a room, and I'm drawing a blank on the guy's name right now. Fremer. He's kind of my hero with vinyl. Michael Fremer,
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, he
the
comes
critic.
down?
Yeah. Oh, yes, sir.
Oh, cool.
He does a.
He knows his
panel?
stuff, but he's also full of himself. So
Yeah, he is. He is very full of himself, but it's all right. But he does a panel thing where they sit up there and talk about some topic dealing with vinyl. But they give him a room, and they do this at Exponent and everywhere. They give him a room, and he just goes up there and plays vinyl for people. And the system, the first year I went to Audio Advice, the system was very, it was meager.
Okay.
It was just a very average room that he got up there. But it was fine. The experience of listening to him talk about things and everything was very much worth the time. Then the next year, they put him in with some Sonus Faber. Good God, what they call them? I showed you a
The
picture.
Nova 3s or the Nova?
No,
The-
they're
those-
$50,000.
Those big,
Oh, the bigger
wide
ones. Okay,
ones.
right.
They're red. They're 50 grand, and they had them MacIntosh amps up there doing that thing, and they were 3,000 watts or 2,000 watts a piece. And I was watching that needle, and that needle,
Barely moving.
dude, we were at 100 dB in that room, and that daggone needle was just barely moving, just whizzing around
Reserve
like 20,
power,
25,
right,
30
right.
watts. Then we'd go down, it would get a real dynamic, real quiet spot. It would come up to about 75 watts just for a second and go back down to about 20 watts.
That's where you get those dynamics and fast transients from.
Yeah.
Is all that power on tap.
Yeah. It's fun to watch them meters, man.
Yeah.
It is fun. And sounds, those Sonus Fabers, in my opinion, I sat in, all right, they make an $8,000 speaker. I used to remember the names because I thought I was going to buy me a set of Sonus Fabers. I used to know the names by heart, but there's an $8,000 pair that come out about 2 years ago. I listened to that. Me and Nikki went between the 8,000 and there's a $25,000 set, and they were at rooms next door to one another, and we just went like this for like 2 hours.
wow.
And I got to the end of it, and I said, number one, and one thing I didn't understand about shows is the rooms are terrible, you know. But I looked at Nikki. I'll never forget the last thing we did before I walked out of there and just kept trucking. Didn't go back in another room that time. I was in the cheaper speaker, the $8,000. I looked at her and I said, "Do my Fortes sound this good?" She said, "Yep." And I said, "Well, I don't want these. Either one of them.
Yeah.
Even at 25,000. I mean, it had to be the room. It had to be the room.
And the electronics, because we know those
Oh,
Fortes don't sound
The
great.
electronic, that's the only integrated. It was the Michi integrated. I got to be honest with you, that I was more
Impressed
interested with the Michi, which is a Rotel, but they make it in China, but it ain't got no China imprint on it. It is first class, and they're about, I think they're about $6,000. They're beautiful, and do the job. They ain't no joke. But I just didn't like the sound. But you know, you mature and you learn more, and you realize, man, that room cost him a sale, because I was trying to find a reason,
to buy, yeah.
right? I was trying to find a reason, and that room sucked that bad. So anyway, well, I think we're about done, and Mr. Ty's got to get on the way. Look, it's 4:08. You're going to hit Fredericksburg.
I'm gonna have to hit it.
What? But it's good timing.
Oh, it might be all right.
You're going to hit Fredericksburg in
Around 7,
No,
6:30.
you're going to hit Fredericksburg in 2 hours. 2 hours and 30 minutes. So that's, if you left at 4:30 if you left from here. So 6:30, 7 o'clock. Dude, you're going to glide.
Yeah, it should die down by then.
You're going to glide. Yeah.
Yeah, everybody up there is going to come down here for the
Yeah.
weekend.
And that's how it was coming down. Everything was going that way.
117, the road you come in on,
Mhm.
795 turns into 117 at Goldsboro.
Mm-hmm.
And that runs to 40 in about
Wow.
eight or 9 miles. It hits 40. 40, of course, goes to Wilmington.
Right.
Wilmington takes you to 17, and everybody's going to Carolina Beach at Wilmington, or either people are going to Myrtle Beach.
And on that note, before we get more directions to how to get somewhere, we're gonna sign off for you folks watching the video.
I'm just saying, what I'm saying with that is everybody, I mean, it's New York, New Jersey, DC, every license plate you can imagine is going by right there. That's what I'm getting at.
Oh.
It's amazing. You'll see Ontario.
Yeah.
I mean, you'll see everything. But yeah, so anybody got any final comments? Anybody want to cuss at me or
We
anything?
can't wait to do it again.
Yeah.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
real.
It
Had
was
a
a
good
blast,
time.
man. Yeah.
Looks like at the very minimum we will get this rig back together at Audio Advice in Raleigh. Of course, we're going to go to Dallas, and then I'm going to be contacting y'all about booking Expona rooms. We'll get the rooms booked.
Okay.
On Monday.
Yeah, on Monday. You better do it on Monday,
Gotcha.
Bo. There ain't no doubt about it. So we'll catch y'all later. Hope y'all enjoyed this. We've had a good time.
Peace out.
Have a good
Peace
one.
out. The shitter's done.
There you go.
Time to get out the shitters.